if they're new followers such as myself who, want to get more acquainted with what your message is, you know what I'm saying, so that you can encourage whether you are actively participating in that message or you are furthering that by what we do out in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted us to get a chance to unpack some of that. Mm-hmm. Also, just, your relationship as it relates to a higher power. I know that, in the world that we live in, even as we talk about, from what I hear you, discuss as far as a dismantling of certain mindsets and dismantling of certain destructive patterns within our culture. I do, try to play the advocate as far as knowing we have a lot of people who have been conditioned under one mindset. And so whenever you're getting ready to, dismantle that, there is a surgery, you know what I'm saying? And whenever you're doing that surgery, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be, like, that surgeon has to have a steady hand in order to, begin to, take away the parts that don't need to be there and adding what does need to be there so that the heartbeat or whatever the organ is, that it functions, properly within the body as a whole. So I just wanted to, answer some questions you may have of people who do believe in God, or, just to kind of stand in the gap for what I hear you saying and what other people may, because I think sometimes when somebody may hear you talk about your relationship with God, again, the misunderstanding may come up. And there are people who believe in God that are like, hold on, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if he didn't have this, stance with it, maybe, we could offer something, but sometimes we're just not in a place of talking respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Like, It don't have to be, even if we disagree, I said it earlier, we can agree to disagree, but it's always about the furthering of the mission, right?
That's right. No question.
So, I'll let you lead if you like.
First of all, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, my people. I'm going live. This Queen Sister Goddess, Beriah, she offered to do an interview with me, and I'm live here on YouTube, and I'm over here. So people on YouTube was asking me questions. So she's asking me questions about my stance and my viewpoint regarding our race, our conditions, and also, some of my viewpoints. She wanted me to, so clear it up for some of the people that, that may be on the fence about some of the things that I'm stating. So I would say, why don't you start this and you ask me a question and let me flow with it.
Absolutely. So I hope you're ready. Okay.
I'm ready.
I know you got several platforms that you talk about. You talk about the Sun Blood. You talk about the Dark Ages. You talk about the I Am Not Black movement. These are just some of the things that come out of your passion. I want to just start off by saying, like, what is the earliest memory of your connection with the divine? And then what does that transition look like for you as you have been, because I know that all of us have been on this land, and, whether or not we want to acknowledge it at the stages that we are in our lives right now, we are touched by oppression. You know what I'm saying? We are touched by religiosity. We are touched even within our family members of that breakdown in communication. So I want to start off by asking, what is your earliest memory of your connection with the divine?
I'm going to say in about October 2015. Okay. 2015. That was my outside of watching my children, my daughter being born, my true connection with divine started in September of 2015.
Absolutely. And what does that look like, just in a brief description of, like, how did you, come out of, because I understand, talk about the pineal gland, and we talk about the third eye. Being able to see outside of the physical realms is where spirit really lives. You know what I'm saying? Being able to connect with the unseen realm, really, like, and being impacted or impressed upon. What does that look like when that happens in 2015?
Well, for me, through my whole entire life, I experienced and seen things that I could never explain, and I was afraid to speak about, for one. 2015, I remember that I stopped being concerned about me and just my personal relationship, you know, with my significant other at that particular time, because I wanted to know, why was Black people, why were we so disconnected in relationships? Because I thought it was just my relationship, and then come to look around, it's everyone from husband and wife, wife and husband, son and daughter, mother and daughter, aunts, nieces, is completely disconnected. And I was practicing Islam at the time, and I would wake up early in the morning, and I would they would call wudu, they would wash up first, I would take a shower, and I would be in the back room, and I remember I would cry as I was praying, because I wanted to know why, not just me and my personal significant other, why were we such at a disconnect, you know what I'm saying? And it was trickling down into our children. But why is the Black race such a disconnect? And I remember when I asked that question to myself and I was praying, I kept asking the same question. I remember scrolling through social media, and I was on Facebook, and a picture came up, and the picture came up, lies written in books, truth written in stone. And when that happened, something clicked, and something just instantly clicked. And right then and there, I started watching Dr. Ben. I started watching a little bit of Dr. Dilbert Blair. I watched Dr. Layla Africa. I watched Young Pharaoh, and Young Pharaoh was the one that really, I would say, regarding his science, this when he speaks about science, he was the one that really propelled me to say, wait a minute. And that's when I started searching. That's when I started digging deep. And when I started digging deep, that's when the tears really started coming out. The emotion started coming out, because I realized that we were so misled as a race, and that we are literally misleading ourselves generation after generation by accepting someone else's lifestyle, someone else's culture.
Sure. So okay, with that part, I'm gonna ask, what would you say after that enlightenment and that encounter, your relationship with God is or was after that point? Where in your divine, like, for you to, and the reason I'm asking this question, I'm honestly going to tell you, the reason I'm asking this question, Kala, is because sometimes when I listen to you, I can literally hear things that I've been taught in scripture.
Mm-hmm.
And even though what I understand is when you talk about books or you talk about, laws written in stone, I can connect with it, because I say, well, even if spirit has only a means to get, to us through certain mediums, right? Each of us are on a different trajectory, a different, point in our journeys, where if the spirit is ready to receive something greater, like if I'm in a desert and all I have is, a little bit of rock, a little bit of sun, a little bit of water, or whatever, I have to use whatever I have to connect or to get the need that I have. And I believe that spirit has a great need for us to stop perpetuating the imbalance just in the earth in general, that whatever mediums he's able to use or it's able to use, the open heart is the one that receives the message, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think that message necessarily has to be clothed in the doctrination that we have been accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a completely different message where you and I are able to connect because we know what it's saying,
yes.
right?
Yes.
And that just is in the space of truth, appreciation, the value for one another. That's the balance. We can hear what it's saying.
Yes.
My question is, sometimes I wonder, do you realize that you say a lot of things that are in line with scripture? Namely, you talk about the 7 years of tribulation. You talk about just things in the earth in general. This morning, as I was kind of getting ready to, do this with you, I was taken to Proverbs 1:20, where it talks about wisdom crying out in the streets. And it talks about how, there's a loud thing going on where wisdom is like, how long will you simple people be the way you are, right? Even though you may not have that direct connection, you cry out in the streets so often. And you're saying, simple people, wake up. Simple people, wake up, right? I don't know what that is. But my question is, you're willing to give your life for the mission and for your people.
Yes.
How does that make you different than Yeshua?
Than Yeshua? Because no one recorded, no one seen Yeshua. No one seen Jesus. No one seen God. So everyone says that God is going to return to this planet. Just show me the record when he left. Give me the recording when he left. Now, it was this planet built 12,000 years ago. Did he leave 12,000 years ago? Because we already have on record, scientists already showing that the planet is much older than what they have taught us in school books. So when did he leave here? And if he left here and he was that magnificent, why didn't he leave not one trace of him here? Why is this nothing but megalithic structures that represent you and I and not someone else?
Absolutely. What was I going to say? So the next thing, I wanted to say that, hold on, y'all. Thank y'all for your patience.
And let me answer your 7-year tribulations when I speak about all right, now people must understand something when I speak about the Bible and these religious books. They all came from the same person that's playing God and Satan. And we have to understand that. If we get to an understanding that someone is on this planet manipulating genetics, there are other species here. And if you can't understand that, then therefore you have what I'm saying to you, it sounds meaningless to you. It sounds crazy to you. But I have an understanding that there is other life form, not only on this planet, but surrounding us consistently on a day-to-day basis that have intelligence. And when I say the 7-year tribulations, everything happened outwardly happens inwardly. This is why the number one rule that was left for our I'm gonna say, we say ancestors, but it was by us in a different avatar. I'm gonna say the number one rule that was left for us to pass down was know thyself. Know thyself. Now, answer me, I'll say to the people that question that is, why is it that we know nothing about thyself, but your oppressor know how your heart work, your brain work, your liver work? He knows everything about you. When we go to the eye doctor, I don't see one of me checking my eyes. I see one of them checking my eyes and telling me what I need and what's being built up on my eyes is stopping me from having good eyesight. I don't see none of us. So why is it that the oppressor knows everything about our genetic makeup and we know nothing about ourselves? And the 7-year tribulation is, if we knew about our genetic makeup, the 7 years, it take us 7 years for your organs, your blood cells, your muscles, everything to replenish themselves. You don't have the same brain that you had 6 months ago. You don't have the same heart or liver. Your gums replenish themselves every 2 weeks, 14 days, your bones take up to 11 months to replenish themselves. So if that is 7 years, it takes 7 years for that to go through. And then in the Bible, it says the 7-year tribulation. The 7-year tribulation represents the entire planet, the entire solar system. This is how we know when supposedly God is going to return. So we go from the sign, August the 21st of 2017. Billionaires watch astrology. Millionaires pay attention to cartoons. So billionaires are watching astrology and they see that there are new constellations in the sky and things have immediately changed on the ground. So if you count and anyone that pay attention to the weather, if you look at August of 2017, and then 33 days later, now August the 17th, there was an eclipse that went from the west coast to the east coast and it went on a 33-degree angle. You have 33 vertebrae up. You have 33 vertebrae up your spine. Jesus died at the age of 33. This is where I put the pineal gland. Jesus just represents your pineal gland. So again, as I'm stating this, everything outwardly is happening inwardly. So the 33 It went 33, the moon went on a 33-degree angle. 33 days later, there was the great sign in the heaven. There was a woman, not a man, there was a woman. She was clothed with the sun and she had the moon beneath her feet. She wore a crown of 12 stars. The 12 stars represent your 12 strands of DNA. See, if we understood this, then we would understand the trickery that they're using in the lingo inside of the Bible. The Bible represents your anatomy. That's why if you look through the Bible, everything that happens in that Bible, everything they spoke about in the Bible actually happens with the other race, and they forced it on us. Pedophilia, incest, slavery, killing, murder, all of that happened with them, and they brought it all over to us.
Thank you for that. And the balance, and when you're saying the pineal gland is representing Yeshua, I can identify with that. Even, and I'll let you have your chance to ask me questions as well. I do believe in our divine paths. I do believe that whatever needs to happen for us to come together, and I can only be thankful for me catching the sign and me being willing to do the work, because it takes a lot of work to dismantle these things in our minds, and even to come to understanding within any medium that you're using. Mm-hmm. Any book that you're reading, or it takes you to literally take down your preconceived notions, mm-hmm. about what you think you know about the world around you, and allow yourself to be taught. I want to just say, what advice, so for me, I personally love the idea of applying pressure to the imbalances, the injustices, and the ignorance that's placed upon us by the powers that shouldn't be, that do not actually belong to us. So what you were just saying about all of that, what you just said, mm-hmm. I wrote it in here, like, placed upon us. What advice would you give to some young kings, like, who know that they are light in the world, but they struggle with their own power?
They struggle with their own power because of the people that they still love in their hearts. The people that you still hold in your hearts. This is why you struggle with your power. You struggle with your ability to grow because of the loved ones that you have around you.
Yes,
that's why I told love and God is a problem. Value is totally different. Because if I value you, I'm going to see something totally different in you than love. So that's why we struggle all the time. Because I hear a lot of people consistently, I'm trying to get my loved one. I'm trying to get this person to see. I'm trying to get this person to understand. I'm trying to stop doing that. And it's hard for us to do. Just like when I state about family, like your family is what you create, not what you was born into. So when people get an understanding that, then they won't pass down false values. Then they'll be able to look at if you can't look at your mother or father and say your values that you have taught me is not conducive with my soul nor the planet. Not that I don't value you or appreciate you, but I have to value my next generation more than you value your current generation. And I have a question for you, because I know you said you do believe in a higher power. And I want to say 99.9% of women, especially Black women, do believe in a higher power. Now, when you believe in this higher power of Yeshua, is he a man or a woman?
So that's kind of complex, because the one who I have come to know who lives in me, if you were to talk about the pineal gland and the one who I have gotten to know, mm-hmm. he's a masculine in nature. In my nature, it is very masculine, but it is not. How can I explain it? The personhood, to be honest, the revelation of the presence of a higher being, it is not either in relation to me. Now, one day I was in deep study and meditation, and I did get a download that the Holy Spirit is a woman. And that's only because when we talk about it being a comforter or being a still small voice, so we talk about those are all feminine traits that women, exude. For me personally, in our exchange, I could never discredit or discount my journey my journey with the spirit realm, but I can say that everything I've learned has taught me to unlearn the things that I've learned. So I can honestly say that the words that I took, because growing up, honestly, I grew up in a Pentecostal background. I grew up, with the holiness. I grew up with the whole, sensationalism and, all of those things. And it was like, okay, but that ain't got nothing to do with common sense. That ain't got nothing to do with the practicality of nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of outward expression. But when you're looking for something, even people in the world, when you're looking for something to quiet the noise, I literally, when you say know yourself, I think when you're ready to stop that behavior, you're going to be met with something comfort. You're going to get the comforter. And I honestly would say you represent that for many people out there. You know what I'm saying? A comforter in a way that, we're not alone in the spaces where, the multidimensional is just crying out, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crying out anyway. Go ahead. I want you to.
Right. I can understand me being a comforter for someone because they can physically see me. So but my question, so you affiliate God with a masculine energy, and that's not a problem. But the other question I have to go along with that. Does this higher power that you trust, does this higher power have the ability to stop this chaos that is taking place on this planet with a snap of a finger?
That's a good question you ask. And when you say, does he have the power to stop it, to be honest, if we were going to equate ourselves being God in the earth, we do have the power to stop it.
Right. No, I got you. No, I have you and us.
So let me just say how it's connected for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I initially and I don't like to use the word activated or, when I was approached, when you're enlisted, right, it's kind of like you have things speaking to you that you weren't, normally, because again, the things of the spirit should discern. That's what scripture says. It says, the flesh doesn't comprehend the things of the spirit. So whenever spirit is trying to speak to you, he's needing you to get rid of a lot of your mindset so that you can actually hear what is being said.
Mm-hmm.
When you do that, he will begin, to speak to you through mediums that are not, like per se, like I keep things around me that keep me reminded, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will keep this rock, and in this rock, it is broken up, but it has crystal inside of it, and it will remind me of the story of Moses, cracking open the rock and water coming from it. Now, this keeps me connected to a supernatural understanding of my makeup. It's not necessarily saying that that's God. It's just saying that what's being used to keep me illuminated is constantly around me. I can constantly glean or grab from the things I need to be successful in the physical realm. Does that make sense?
I totally understand where you're coming from, and I understand that. But my question that I'm asking you is this person, because this is one individual that you trust in, can this individual snap his fingers and stop the chaos on this planet if it wanted to?
Now, if you want to get, all the way into the mysteries of it, I mean, in the scripture, it doesn't say that he was going to do that. In the mysteries, it says that he left the gifts to us.
Right. But he said.
But the thing is, and I want to unpack it because not enough of us are awake to understand what the work is. So he did leave the work, right? And the work, again, whenever we read the Yeshua saying it is finished, right? It is a finished work. But if you're slow to catch on that you're in the midst of something, right? That's just like you sitting in the movie theater and the movie is gone off and you're reading the credits or whatever. The movie gone off, you can actually leave. You can leave, but you're sitting around waiting for something else to happen. You know what I'm saying? We're not busy doing the work that power was given to us to do.
So now let me ask you a question again. So can this individual that you wake up in the morning and that you think of throughout the course of the day, can this individual snap his fingers and stop the chaos on this planet?
And to be honest, I will honestly say if the members of the body were functioning well, yes, he could.
But you're not. That's not.
Because the reason why I'm saying that to you, is because in our ability to tap into our God likeness, he would rob us of that if he would just snap. The amount of power and the amount of ability, like the amount of power that you walk around in the earth with, and the amount of your voice and amount like that, honestly, when we're talking about the enemy that we have, there is a literal roar that needs to be heard from the one who has created us to speak to everything in the cosmos that these are the ones I have given power. Like, I literally can't say that would rob me of me being like, yeah, you could go ahead and do it, sure.
Okay, so now let me ask you a question. All right, this is the problem that I have then. See, this is the problem. One, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. You didn't answer my question. I would have say that, but I would tell you why. No. The answer is yes. Okay. So why? Now, hold on for a second. Now, the question that I have then: why didn't he stop this from the 1400s up to now? Why didn't he stop? Listen, why didn't he stop James Merriam Sims? That's all I'm asking. Why didn't he stop James? Now, this was an adult woman. Why didn't he stop James Merriam Sims from chaining down Black women and holding their legs open and experimenting on their vaginal areas? And he's the most revered gynecologist today. They don't mention his name out in the open, but in the medical field, he is the most revered gynecologist today. So why didn't he stop that? Now, that was a woman. Then we can go to a child. You know the game polo? They know the game the polo horse with the man? That comes from them playing polo with the skulls of babies. So I asked, why didn't he stop that? And then when you say, well, what would be his reasoning to allow that to go on? And then what would be the reasoning for the Black woman today to hold the Black man to the criteria that fits another man that he cannot be? Why is it that we allow a man to get away with narcissistic sociopath stuff and our sisters still love this man? That's all I'm saying. This is all just the power of a thought of a woman's mind. Just the power of a thought of a woman's mind to say Yahshua is beautiful and amazing. But yet, this man is right here.
Let me just say this. Let me just say, even if I attach a masculine energy to God, he is not a man in the sense that what you just told me, the balance that we're having right now, you just told me that he was in my knower. He was in my inner parts. You just told me, right? Now, based off of what you're saying, God is not a man. Now, having created us for that ability, I had to really, and I knew you were going to come with some of the questions, and I thought about it, and I said, well, in the instance where, in nature, right? We see in nature all the time where a specific species will have offspring, and there's a predator lurking from somewhere off of the food chain, the higher food chain. And if that mother goes off to get food or she's distracted, what happens to her prey?
All we got to do is look at our children today.
Stop. So listen, what I'm saying is, let me just finish the thought, because because at the end of the day, we know that we're in an all-out war for survival. We know that we're amongst other species who are not like us. We know, just like in the food chain, right? They are building constantly their construction, right, to maintain their supremacy over it. It's just a rule in nature. Now, this is the thing. Whether or not we are the golden beings that they know, if they overtake us and overpower us, that again has to go back to us being distracted. So yes, God could do that, and you're saying, why didn't he stop that? But at the same time, we weren't alert enough to not talk to when you talk. Listen, let me say this, because I listened to a live you did recently, and you were talking about how when you was talking about the police, and you like, look at how y'all repay us, like, you know, you Neanderthals, like y'all come out of the dark spaces, and then we learn to teach you how to walk upright. Guess what? If the thing come out and it don't look like you had no business teaching that thing your ways.
I totally agree with you. But hold on.
You had no business. So what you're asking me, what I keep telling you is the balance in how to get to the roots of the breakdown. Because yes, it happened. No, it had no business happening. Yes, the other things could have happened and should have happened, but guess what? Now that you got the knowledge and the understanding, because all of us are growing in the knowledge of our Creator, regardless of how long it's going to take that rhetoric to come down. Because you got to understand too, if you playing a game with a cheater, you cannot play by the rules. No matter what happens. When we read scriptures and we read like about the shrewd manager, we know for a fact these people and white supremacy all the way around, they deal in mastery of the unseen realm.
They can't see the unseen realm. They're not dealing in mastery of the unseen realm. We are.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. You know how I know? You know how I know, Kalai? Because you only deal with these people through the airways and through the written codes.
Okay.
You do not deal with these people from a you and I step. We both in the same state. We deal with each other like this, in congruence, in parallel. You cannot deal with them in parallel. You deal with them through the unseen realm and through written code. That's something that, you know, that's a deep measure of it, but you have to dissect that. Whenever the police, the other day you was on the corner with the police, you know what I'm saying? They have been called on this woman. They are in a space where I don't care if they're in the precinct or not, it's still a building that is structural in nature. It look like it's a whole bunch of cops in there. We don't deal enough in the metaphysics. We don't deal enough in the when you talk about multidimensional, we don't deal enough in that where we will be able to transcend time and energy. Where a person like us, golden race, we had no business being caught.
Can I say this to you? You don't think we dealing in you don't think we dealing in the see, he can't get into the metaphysical world. So they got us tapped into the metaphysical world, building his world through clock and through time. See, this is what I'm saying to you. So he, but you said he's working in the metaphysical world. No, he's not, because he can't grasp that. Only thing he can do is use you to manipulate you to build his world through metaphysics, through our heart and through our minds. So he can't, he don't have the ability to do anything. He is using us to do it. So this is why I say, go ahead. No, we have a choice. I
would agree. We do have a choice, right?
You just made a statement.
We do have a choice.
You made a statement. Can I say that? Can I just let me get my point off? You made a statement you made a statement that when out in nature, when a mother leave her young and the young is not protected, is vulnerable to get murdered. It's destroyed because she's out doing whatever she needs to do, right? Well, that's the same thing that's happening with our race. Mothers. Hold on for 1 second. A lot of the things that women are doing today is unnecessary that needs to be done. That's all I'm saying. I'm not, listen, for one, let me just say this to you. Any black woman, for one, like I told you, like I said, I commend you. You understand? This sister right here, Sister Scheherazade, I commend that woman. You know, I commend her because people, when they read that book, it made it seem like she was putting the black woman down. What she did was made the black man get on her job, get on his job. If you look at her interview, she had bodyguards, not because women disliked the fact that she was telling the truth, because men, it made them be accountable for their jobs. Bro, you making children and you making excuses on why you ain't come and get your child, why you ain't take your kid for a walk, why you ain't do such. That's why I can't go around my kid because I can't buy the new Nikes. Well, you getting them programmed into Nike. You getting them programmed into PlayStation. So now they're looking at you with no value because you're teaching them to look at you with no value. So who's the onus on? Is it the system or is it us prescribed to the system? So that's why I come in and say, for us, if there is a loving God out there, would he be mad and upset with you if you decide to say, guess what, God, I'm going to put you on the back burner right now. I'm going to focus on my brothers and sisters right down here in nature. And when I finally pass away, I'll talk to you on the other side. But until then, everything that was passed down from these people, God, religion, economic, political, culture, the whole nine, I am not prescribing to that no longer. Our children have to go to their school. Cool. When they come home, guess what? 3 hours of deprogramming. We don't have a fun relationship with our children because we are keeping things away from them. And we're saying that they're not ready for this, not knowing that our children just came from up there and they were watching this the entire time. So we're keeping things away. But I'm sorry.
We're gonna always agree because what I'm learning is that it's never either or.
Yes.
It's always both. It's both and. And what we have to understand is that even what you speak about the black woman as God, however, you talk about the hardness and the strength that she has had to portray. If we were to believe in God, we would want him to be strong, or we would want him to be all powerful, right? Black women, if we are to be God or to restructure the earth, right? Now, we were told the story about Adam and Eve and how Eve was the one that was deceived and how, women have the mantle to come back and restore, right? Now, even though that book that you just highlighted helped men to get back on their job, women have a duty to restore no matter what, at what level. And that comes from whether or not you come from the rhetoric of that. And me reading that in scripture makes me accountable as a woman in how I'm interacting in the world around me and what I'm extracting from it that is a detriment to my people or to the men around me, right? So it's never either or, it's both and, because there are many women out there who have taken this book, who have understood that no matter whether or not everything in it can be validated or true, or proven as true, we know that the word, it works if you do it. If you do it, there are certain things in passage, honestly, I have pulled out a couple of things for you because I was like, okay, how am I going to talk with him about... And there were plenty of scriptures that came up that I could say, to discredit, but I always, because I know that it's both and I know that preservation of our race and our relationships is the most important thing. I would never want to get on here and disagree or to tear down. I will use this platform to honor you to the highest degree.
Yes,
as a male, being on your job, doing whatever it is to save the lives of the people around you from death, hell, and destruction. And guess what? God ain't mad at you.
That's my
God
sister.
Ain't mad at
yes.
You to be like, if I am the black woman and I am deemed to be God, I'm not mad at you.
That's right.
I'm not mad at you for trying to save my life in the best way possible, even if it takes you, you know what I'm saying, if my foot is caught and it takes you to break my leg in order for me to get out.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not mad at you. The leg just broke.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get your shoulder, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just gonna have to limp up out of this thing whatever way we can get out. But I never want these things to be the thing that tears us down. And when I'm in prayer, it's like, don't destroy your brother for the sake of me. That's spiritual.
Yes.
I can't destroy you, Kalai, for the sake of me. What I'm eating, you ain't eating. What you like, I don't like. It's not none of that. This word for me in the 36 years that I have lived, I was in the world and I needed something to get me out of the thing that was sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
My family was sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing about blessings and prosperity messages, and that's sickening to me.
Mm-hmm.
When I cannot even get a decent conversation on the front porch about how pretty the flowers are outside. Like, I just like, bro, what the hell are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, when you get soul sick, that's when we talk about our soul tribes. We talk about finding what you create is because you get soul sick of that. But you holding on. I held on to that word for a long time until I figured out it's not so much the word that he wanted me to hold on to. It's the principles in it that help me to live better with the people that I know are out there wanting to live better.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, like you said, the young kings that know they light in the world, if they don't get away from their families or they don't get away from the toxicity of whatever, right? We a big culture on energy and all that, but if you're not willing to sever, Jesus even said it, well, in scripture said, it's better to enter the kingdom mangled with your arm cut off. They took for your whole body to go into hell. And when we talk about dismantling like a physical place of hell, yes, tear that thing down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's better for you to cut your arm off. My mama, my right arm, my sister, my auntie, I'm cutting them off in order to enter into a more peaceful place in my mental capacity, so that I'm better, my pineal gland is activated. I can actually see out in the world the work I need to get done. The distraction.
Right.
That's sorry I piped up in the passion with it for a minute, but
no, it's all up.
It's never either or, Kalai.
Mm-hmm.
We are on a journey, we are on a journey that is eternal. Us being gods in the earth, it is still eternal. Me meeting you, we're in the cosmos now, if we wanted to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
We up high with, right? No, they can't penetrate how high we are, but there's still those who are down there in the low frequency who ain't even been brought up to speed.
Yes. I agree with you. On a lot of points that you have made, and I do. The only thing is that I say that us as people is that we are denying what's in front of us. We are denying what is taking place with us generation after generation after generation. We are denying the fact that
I don't think so.
Yeah, we are.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. I'll ask another question. Who is responsible? Who is responsible for the children that are obese today?
Who is responsible for the children that are obese today?
Yeah, in our race.
I'm gonna say it's twofold because again, when you're living in,
I'm listening to you.
You gonna let me say that?
I'm listening.
Okay, so it's twofold, right? Because when you talk about the strength of the Black woman and what she has to do to overcome, to get to a place in herself, sometimes the overworked woman don't have the time, the energy, and the effort to do. Now, if we were a people, let me just say this, the way our laws are governed in the land, if you farm, if you start to farm, and you start to go over a certain amount, guess what? You're going to get taxed on that, right?
Right.
If we are not actually growing our own foods and doing things, we could affect the obesity in the world, by doing things for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Who's responsible for it is us. If you was sitting there drinking a Coca-Cola or something right now, you know what I'm saying, knowing that it's not good for your health, you would be responsible for the choice that you're making.
Right. Most people eating habits as adults started when they were children. So I asked a question. So, and you said, you said, you said it was us. You said it's both parties. The reason why our children are overweight today, and the fact that women are overworked. Well, who's overworking you then? Because it's not me. I'm not overworking you. The black man isn't overworking you. Who's overworking you? To where as though that you're now, when you come home, our children are eating Chinese food, eating other cultures' food that are poisoning and killing us. Who is overworking you? And I have another question for you. And this is a good question that I actually heard this question. The women of yesterday that were during slavery, and even in, let's say, let's say in the 20s, 30s, and 40s and 50s, right? Who had it harder? Those women those days or the women today? Who have it harder? The women.
To be honest, if we're gonna give homage to our ancestors, to be honest, if we're perpetuating the same type of energy, it's the same struggle. Same.
That's not. Wait a minute, Queen. It is the same struggle. It's the same struggle for both of us. But again, we have to pinpoint how this entity is attacking us, so we can reverse it. So that's all I'm pointing out is how the entity, not his pawns, how is the entity is attacking us and keeping us in a docile state. Most adults' eating habits start when they're children. So I asked you, and you said the way that the woman is overworked today. So I asked again, who's overworking you? And
okay, so the question, I get what you're. Okay, so let's call a thing a thing. I mean, honestly, I hear you wanting me to get to the meat and potatoes of it, okay, and say, you know what I'm saying, it is the white supremacist, it is the entity, if that's what you're calling it. It is the system. It is the slavery and the bondage that we have been under. Okay, that when you say we volunteer or we are perpetuating that, right? What I am saying to you, Kala, is that over time, the situation we find ourselves in this era has everything to do with the choices of our predecessors. Our elders before us, they have had choices.
Mm-hmm.
If I grew up on hot dogs, baked beans, whatever, like that was my mother's choice to feed me. You got to understand that at the point where I can consciously say, okay, that's making me sick. Now, when you're talking about the exchange of knowledge,
my question.
You have today.
Just a question. You said that was your mother's choices with hot dogs and baked beans, right? Fruits and vegetables was here on the planet during slavery too. We actually picked fruits and vegetables. So that was here too. So we had a choice in order to eat soul food or the fruits and vegetables that we were picking. So as an adult, she made a choice. That's all I'm saying. I'm taking the onus off of God and Satan, and I'm putting it directly on us. We had a choice. The candy yams taste good because of the sugar. Our tongue got attached to it. So we're constantly eating that, not knowing that the sugar is going to do what? High blood pressure, diabetes. Sugar is the #1 killer in the Black community. Heart diseases, this is what sugar causes with us. So if we're not disciplined enough, this is all it boils down to, is self-discipline, self-reflection. And we as a whole don't do enough self-reflection, and we as a whole don't speak up enough because we want the loved ones, because of our loved ones. We want people to clean. We still want that love for them. We want you to, we are afraid to be alone, but we're dying as a whole. We are afraid to be alone. Oh, she doesn't talk to me no more. She doesn't talk to me no more. So you rather tell her that it's okay. my neighbor across the street. I get Amazon packages come to the door. Now, my neighbor, she's about 70 years old. She comes over to my house and picks up my Amazon packages when I'm not here. This woman picks this up. And I'm so compelled to buy her, get her. I'm like, I'm at BJ's. You want anything? You need anything? I'm gonna pick this up for you. I'm gonna pick this up. She say, no, no, no. I'm pressing her like, you need anything? She said, listen, just pick me up a Pepsi. Listen to me. Tears came out of my eyes. I was on the phone. She couldn't see it because I was hurting. I wanted to give her something and she asked for a Pepsi. I didn't want to tell her how bad the soda was for her, and I didn't want to give it to her because you know why? Because now that I know the knowledge, I will be contributing to her death. If I bought her a soda because she asked me to out of the kindness, I can get it. She did this. She said, just buy me a soda since you want to do something for me. I literally, tears fell down my eyes because I'm hurting. I'm confused. Should I get her the soda? Because this woman is so sweet and nice. That's her life. That's her choice. But if I give it to her, knowing what it's doing to her, and when I see her the other day, she's breathing heavy. So what did I do? So you know what I do? I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to get her card and I'm going to give it to her. So once you have this knowledge, you cannot continue to perpetuate this on any level. Some of our brothers and sisters still do it.
You had that knowledge prior to asking her. And that's the thing is what you're just pressed me about the food and the knowledge of knowing that fruits and vegetables exist and the option to, okay, so the gift opens the way for the gift giver. Mm-hmm. If she's doing something kind for you, you didn't need to ask her what it is that she needs because guess what? You're the expert on what condition. If you've seen her in her condition, if you're looking with your gland, mm-hmm. you see this woman in her condition. Mm-hmm. You don't need to ask a person who's not able to choose the right decision for themselves. And again, that goes back to if you are saying, is God holding you accountable? Yes, because know thyself. What you watching, you knew not to ask her or press her, what can I buy? What can I buy? Guess what? If you are alert, you're going to buy the thing that is most beneficial to where you are trying to push the trajectory of your own people or the earth around you.
Yo, did you just hear God just talk? See, I don't believe in the sky. You just told me exactly what I needed to hear. See, that's what God just did. And if more of my people did that with one another, we will hear God talking to us. See, the divine just spoke right in you. You're the God.
What you're getting from my inner is a river.
But
what you're getting is something that I studied.
Right. But
and I postured myself under. You're not getting something that I brought down out of my own consciousness. That's something I had to work out.
Okay.
And understand that, hold on. Don't leave it to Beaver. Don't put me in a position to, kill myself. And now you feeling bad. Oh, I know I'm crying because she don't know no better. I ain't got to shed no tears about her not knowing better. I know better. You was crying because you asked her that question.
Yes.
Not because of the answer she gave you, because the answer she gave you was the only one that is out there being perpetuated, and you know that. You just told me that you know that it's being perpetuated, and who's going to be accountable? I'm looking at you.
Right. Thank you. And I appreciate that. I needed to hear that. But see, guess what? Now, this woman asked me this yesterday. You understand? And this took place yesterday. If I would have been asking God to give me an answer on what should I do, I would never heard a voice. See, I'm listening for a voice. But guess what? I just shared that with you. And another physical being, a God in a body, just got finished telling me what I should do. See? A God in a body. And that's what I'm looking for. Gods in bodies. I'm not looking for gods in the other realm.
The gods in bodies are those who have chosen to lay down had died just in the moment of not what you just said about making your family feel good or making more people would talk like that. The reason why I could do that, not only leading up into the live, right? We've been sharpening iron with each other and building each other up in a way that allows me to talk into you. You know what I'm saying? You're in a receptive space. You would not have not heard a voice, but if the same medium that I have, right now, only a fool says in his heart there is no God. That's written. If you say it's no God, but then you see me, that's the same thing Scripture says. How can you love God whom you have not seen, and you do not love your neighbor whom you have seen? Now, unless I choose daily to take up my God likeness and to walk about in this realm as such. Because I understand that if I give my power over to anything outside of me, it is going to destroy me.
Queen, they get ready to cut my live off. They talking about I got 21 seconds remaining. They get ready to cut my live off. I'm coming. Listen, I'm coming over. If you want to continue this, I can come over there. Or I can send you a link. Yeah, we can definitely continue this.
I'm about to start it up.
All right, I'm coming right over there to your live as soon as you go on there. All right, peace, y'all. No doubt. Listen, my people, y'all already listen. Y'all already know like where I'm going at with this shit. You know what I mean? Like y'all know. You know what I mean? Like if you can't, this here now. Hold on. Did Kalai use a profane word? Does Kalai use a profane word? Put that down. Kalai, you always use a profanity. Did Kalai use a profane word? Not one. Not one. I don't need to use. I know. Listen. I know when to talk. I know how to talk. I know how to talk, my people. Kalai ain't used not one profane word. Not one. And the questions that I was asking was, hey, listen, the interview was for me, but when I ask the questions and I say, you know, it's a higher principle, it's a higher being. My problem is that we pay homage, we pay honor to something more than we pay homage and honor to each other. And I got a problem with that. And I feel as though that's the problem with our race. And we should be able to come to we should be able to come to an understanding. And if you really have a genuine connection with God, you ain't got to tell me about God. We ain't even got to speak about God. I'm going to see the God within you. I'm going to see how you see God. God eat the sun. You understand? He ain't eating poison food. He not tiptoeing. God walk a straight path. He ain't tiptoeing. So when I see you, I'm going to see if you got that God body. Can you take your shirt off and I see like, yo, God body? Huh? Can I the healthiness, inflammation, mucus, is that in your shot? Is it showing on you? That's where I'm at with it. Is that showing on you? Huh? Then what do you do? Do you throw trash? Do you care about nature? Do you care about your brother? Do you really care genuine about your sister? Huh? First and foremost, everyone has a piece of this puzzle in their heart chakra. If you call yourself, if I come on me and Rap the News don't agree with each other because Rap the News believes in a higher power. I don't, but I still respect him. I don't get on his program. I don't discredit nothing that he is saying other than I say, hey, listen, have you ever looked at the color of your soul? Have you ever looked at this? Have you ever looked at that? And not only that, Rap the News is now talking about spaceships. So now God went from levitating. Now he's sending spaceships with angels in them to do observing shit. I don't get it. Somebody gotta tell me some shit, man. Yes. Somebody gotta literally tell me some shit, man. I'm serious. So is God? So hold on. Come on, people. Like, come on, bro. Let me get over here. Let me get over here. Here I come. Yizzo. Here I go. Here I am. Yeah, Yizzo. Right back on here. I love this energy, man. This energy was the truth. This was the truth. I'm not even gonna hold you. This was the truth. I was loving this. I'm like, wait a minute. And then Instagram talk about you got 21 seconds remaining. Okay.
All right, so we definitely back live. We are recording. We also recorded on the radio, guys. So some of y'all's questions after we, get ready for the question and answer, we're gonna be y'all will be on the radio. Diverse Hits, ENT. So let's carry on where we left off. I'm gonna jump in and just, let me affirm you, you know what I'm saying, and just say, what an honor it is to, be sharpening with you right now. We had almost 300 people in the room. Okay, it's super fire. I just wanna say that we're on the same page. I just want you to know that your passion cannot be denied as far as who you want, the responsibility to be placed on, and for us to really know where our power lies, and for us to stop doing the dumb shit. Like
that's it. At
the end of the day, it's like, is you gonna stop doing the dumb shit? But at the end of the day, too, we do have to really be aware that there is a war waged, and regardless of whether or not you can be one man standing out there saying, hey, you're better than that, you're better than that, you're better than that. But guess what? Unless I start to see that better around me and within me and coming from the people that I function with, listen, and it's going to honestly, I believe, Kala, it's going to take a fortified, band together of power that will actually show other people who are stuck, okay, you can stop doing it. Just come on. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty of room over here to cook out. But you know what I mean? But we ain't cooking with y'all used. It still tastes good. This is the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? We have gotten accustomed to things that look good but don't feel good for us. And that's why even right now, with this whole movement of protecting your energy and, not being with these people and because we starting to feel the sin sick.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to feel the ill within the gut. When you go around certain people, you already know what type bad they are. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, I can't go over there because they're not quite woke yet. You know what I'm saying? We understand that energy saps. When you go to bed worried about somebody you in a relationship with that, it's too much. But we gotta understand, where are we feeding the monster?
Okay, now let me say this, right? Because I'm always going to try to get directly into it, right? I want to get directly into it. Let me ask you this, right? Would you accept a man that want to deal with multiple women?
In all honesty, I'm God. No, I would not.
Okay, good. Now wait a minute. Hold Okay, but listen.
None of them gonna be able to cook.
Listen. This is now. Listen. Let me go back to your statement that you made. Black women are overworked and children are abandoned. Now let's start with this. Right?
That's self-confidence, not ego. Okay?
All right, hold on. Just listen. Now, what are the two keys? This is factual stuff that's in the black community that breaks up relationships. Financial, and then the man cannot be faithful, right? Okay, so let's talk about that right then and there. See, are black women putting restraints on black men, or black men just dogs?
No. In all honesty, the oversaturation of what is going to be satisfying, a man who had, if you don't have enough of it, we look at Solomon, he had concubines everywhere. If you're building a surplus or something, you're not going to, the self-indulgence, there's no limit for you to stop. You know what I'm saying? There's no, we don't. If the thing is, like, I see women all the time be like, you know, with your side chick, or you know, you feel like this whole, you know, the whole sickness about he won't be with me and you know, didn't like, girl, if he with somebody else and it's clear, you need to make sure the lane is clear, because you're still at the end of the day, we're not, our standard as women haven't been high enough to be like, hey, if you want to go and do that, then I'm gonna see you later. And if the value of the woman is as deep as it is inside of the man in the relationship, you're going to abandon those other distractions. You're going to do what is necessary to stay now, because we live in a society where you can get almost anything you want at the drop of a, you know what I mean? You ride down the street and a chick might be like, shit, all I got, you know, all that.
Right, but
I mean, like, if that is where we are as it relates to survival or self-worth, that go back to that man. You know what I'm saying? If you ride down the street and you want a little shawty that got, you know what I'm saying, she look hungry. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you need to not value yourself enough to go label up, or to go be in some type of situationship where you know y'all ain't even at the physical festival. You know what I'm saying? To be holding nothing down. Like, what is it? But at the end of the day, that physical, that self-gratification, instant gratification.
Okay, all right, now, so you disagree, all right? You just believe that one woman, one man. You believe that, right? Okay, now, who controls sex on this planet?
Honestly, I feel like it's an exchange, and I feel like that. Hold on, what you're asking me is who has the ability to relinquish it or to distribute, and that would be women, right? We have to receive the man, and we have to take in, right? So women do have that ability to control it.
No, you do control. It's not ability. You do control. You control sex.
That's not true, because guess what? If a man doesn't control himself, Kalai, we can very well experience a out of control situation.
Well, let me explain something to you. Then that motherfucker, and I wanted to point something else up, that motherfucker needs to die. Let me explain something to you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I don't see brothers out here going to jail for taking anything from women. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but that's not in our blood. So women, even in nature, you look at nature, women control sex. Men doesn't control anything.
No, let me tell you, it ain't in y'all blood. But guess what? Because the women are overly, listen, let me break it down. Because even though women can control it, the way that we distribute it shows that we lack control over it.
Thank you. So hold on. You're not letting me get there. You telling it. Y'all hearing, ladies, brothers? Y'all hear? She telling it. You do. Just say you control it.
And guess what? The men come in to dominate that weakness. And let me just say this, because when you say, listen, when you put that knife up and you say he needs to die, guess what? What needs to die in him is the fact that when he sees the opportunity, he does not listen to that. What needs to die in him is that when he sees the opportunity, he speaks directly to her and say, listen, you are out of control, and I'm not going to step over your ability. That goes all the way back to what we was talking about with the woman with the Pepsi. If men in our community see twerking, ass, titties, everything out there, it's gonna take the man to be like, young lady, listen, it's that, look, booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Booty, booty. Listen, if it's rocking everywhere.
So now you want me.
It's going to take the men to not feel like they are deserving of that lesser thing that woman is doing.
Okay, now hold on. Let me say this. Okay, it's going to take, now we're going to put it all on the man. Not a problem. I'll take that for example. But let me just say this right here, right? So I love this. I love this conversation. So how do I want to ask this question? So in other words, women control sex. Now, hold on. Here we go. What age do a woman reach whereas though she no longer can carry life or give life?
Nowadays.
45, 50?
Nowadays, between people getting hysterectomies, I haven't seen women past the age of like 42.
Okay, so we'll say 45 just for a good number. 45. Well, men
45.
men can create life or spark life until he's dead. And even a couple of days after he's dead, he still have life in his body. He can still give life. He can still impregnate a woman to create a vessel, whereas though that another life can come down here. So now you want men that God, Yahshua, said from the time that you are able to procreate life, carry on life, you want men that God said, your divine said that we are able to give life and continue life from the time we live to the time we die. But you have a cutoff limit. So now I have to put my cutoff limit with you. How is that fair to me?
Well, now if you're really trying to go into now, I will talk to you now.
I'm just saying, but how is that fair to me if I want to continue with life?
So, we all know the story, okay, of Abraham and Sarah. Now, she was well up in age from what it says. And there was a promise of her being able to have a child. Now, if we're talking about where we are now in our health, the spirit, like where we are now down the line of whatever has happened in our health, we are not able to bear children past a point. But you got to also, please stop crying. Let me also just say this. Because we know about the entity and we know about the fact that, first of all, the church has kind of stopped, women from dating and procreating within a reasonable time span for us to have our children do there is a stop, right? And then we also know that because of health complications and things, they have put in place in our healthcare system where, the system is designed for us to not be able to perpetuate, like to procreate at the rates that we should be procreating within our society. So just as a woman, let me speak as a woman,
yes,
because I have a seed,
and
I learned that when I had my daughter, there was not only the state, there was the doctors at the hospital, nurses at the hospital, and then there was this outside other entity that the state had on the side that was coming to the house pressuring me about the birth control. Now, if we are literally dealing with the open enemy who wants to stop our seeds from perpetuating as God's in the earth, then there are measures that are taking place to stop that. Not only does the oversaturation of sex within our communities happen, but on the flip side of that, they know, because our seeds, you often talk about this in your life, that our seeds are what they are after, period. Because at the end of the day, when we die off and that lineage is left here, that slavery perpetuates itself again on our seeds. We know that. So what I'm saying to you, Kalai, is that while you're asking, is it fair that because I have a cutoff, you're not in it with me? And that's the part that hurts when you don't, if a man doesn't understand outside of himself, like what a woman like me is going through in the healthcare industry regarding my ovaries, my ability to give you more children. First of all, on this land, we live in Pennsylvania, the healthcare system is a lot different in the north than it is in the south.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Bible Belt, I learned that if I am not a wed woman and I have a seed and it comes off of the state, listen, they have a right to deny me a removal of birth control from my body. Where even if I wanted to give you some more children at any rate, you would have to have a job that paid you under W-2 or some form. That's the way this system works.
But we don't. If we was together, we don't have to follow that. We forget the system. The system can't tell us what to do with our bodies.
But guess what?
We have to prescribe to that. We have to believe in them.
How many men out there in booty rocking everywhere, and she gets pregnant, and you don't decide to wed her, or you don't decide to do a traditional? That is where the imbalance be coming from. So men think, you just said about your own mouth in your mind.
Right.
That you think if I'm unable to procreate past a point, which those limitations are placed upon me because of a move that you either do or do not make concerning me.
Like what? Like
you say,
for example, your personal health will be your personal health. You would take care of I can't get you and force you to eat healthy and take care and nurture your body. That's something that you would have to do within yourself. But you just said it. You just okay. Well, what is it that a man that you require that a man should be doing? Go ahead. I'm listening.
You're missing what you said.
Okay.
You gave me an argument that men who are able to procreate due to unlimited sperm count through death, you think as a woman we should make you restrict you from continuing that, which means that that means you're pro polygamy or pro, because you need other women around to continue to perpetuate that lineage until you die. However, that's what I'm hearing you say. But what I am saying to you is, even if you are in that mindset, women today, if a man is not looking to do something long term in that way, women are not out there looking for that either.
Well, wait a minute.
I ain't looking to hook up with a man. In my mind, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna hook up with so and so because I can give him about 5 kids, and then I know he's gonna have another wife there, and she gonna be able to give. Like, to actually be able to process that, we're trying to get to the point where men actually want to settle down with us because of the condition that we've been placed in.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I gotta stop this there. Now I have to stop this here. Wait a minute here. Wait. No, I'm not. Listen, no, people feel you. I'm not knocking what you say. I'm with you. But wait a minute here. Wait.
No, he's talking about, all right, they asking me what I'm saying. Go ahead and repeat what you said about the sperm count, about you being able to procreate throughout death.
All right, you were. I asked you, how did you feel? First of all, it starts with this. I feel in the Black community, the reason why relationships don't work because Black men are restricted from who they truly are, for one, and monogamous relationships does not work in our community. And we have grown accustomed to arguing and fighting back and forth in these relationships, and we still end up dealing with the same person, which is sad and fucking it's crazy. But you stated that you believe that one man and one woman. So I asked that if men can create life, can spark an egg inside of a woman until he's 6 feet under in the ground, he could be 90 years old and still create a baby. Dr. Sebi did it. And why is it that men are placed on restrictions to be cut off? You see what I'm saying to you? And because women, I'm going to say 45, complications are happening, whereas though you can't carry a baby. Now, I also stated, and you also stated that, well, if men seeing booty over there, booty over there, and booty over there, well, who's showing them the booty? They're not raping them. You understand? Who's giving up the womb? you're actually, not only are they showing booty over there and stimulating the sexual organs inside of my mind and in my brain consistently through TV, in our neighborhood environment, clothing, but you are stimulating that as well. So when you're stimulating that, and that's all I see, and that's all I have to build off, because you are creators and we are builders. So when you're shaking, just like when a woman is doing exotic dancing or dancing, that is visualizing. You are creating an image in his mind. Just like when a woman do yoga and she got fucking tights up on her behind and she all in the mirror and all in front, you are creating an image inside of his mind in a world that's built off of sex, drugs, and murder. So if women control sex and men don't, and why is it that we're being blamed for what you are giving us because we no longer stick around you? Now you give us sex, and we have children with you, then, and he doesn't stick around, that's the bastard. He's no good. But you chose the no good individual. You still have to put the onus on you. It don't make a difference what he says. You, at the end of the day, still make the choice. Now, I feel as though for me, the reason why men had multiple wives is because women only had sex during their ovulation period, which only lasts for 7 days. After the 7 days, they was not having sex. This is why men had multiple wives, because we only had sex to bring forth life. Not saying that we didn't have sex to enjoy our own personal feelings, but we always put the universe first. That's why they say as above, so below. What was the universe doing? If it's okay with the universe, it's okay with Mother Earth, it's okay with Mother Nature, okay, then it's okay with me. But if we're saying it's just okay with me and forget Mother Nature, Mother Earth, and Mother Universe, because that's what's happening right now. So I
honestly don't disagree with the fact that we should have, family structure in place where, we're able to perpetuate our lineage over time. Like, if that's what somebody comes together to do, I don't disagree that could be an option. We do see it in biblical times. But what I'm saying to you is the crucial state that we're in as a people, it don't ward for that.
It don't?
What we're trying, listen, and not if you're broken down, but like if you're broken down mentally and you're not together where the children are growing up to understand that commitment to anything is foreign, right? If there is something that, now, hear what I'm saying.
The children see that we are committed to money. The children see that we are committed to materialistic things. That's what the children see. And children don't see that we are committed to them. That's why they feel alone, and that's why every 30 seconds are happening. So when women say that so when women say that they are so destroyed, whereas though that you can't see your hurt and pain should be so, your heart, hurt, and pain should bother you so much that you wouldn't want to see it for the next generation. So what would be the key, in my opinion, build a relationship with your sister?
But again, you're not listening to the point that I'm making. Where if I want to do that for the next generation, I literally have to sink myself into that type of way of life. We ain't even got to that point. Like, what you talking about? Can't nobody stand up under that yet.
Well, we live in it every day, my sister.
No, we're not.
We're not. It's polygamy relationships out here all day long.
Listen, but you're not living under what you're saying for it to work in the way you're saying it to work. It's not happening. Because listen.
Why it's not happening? Because sisters are not disciplined. Forget me. You have to be disciplined. You control sex.
Hold up. You're saying I need to be disciplined enough through my ovulation and cycle period to let you pop on me, to give me some kids, and then go and be with. Listen, hold on. I need to be disciplined in my mind enough. Hold on. The thing what I'm telling you is we need to be disciplined enough to get together, you and me. First of all, before we start adding people to the house, adding people to the room, adding children to the quiver. First of all, you ain't even got people that's sane enough to do what we're doing right now, to sharpen each other in a helpful way. You talk about something, honestly, I feel at like the highest of height. But what I'm telling you is you still got low frequency people.
And guess what?
For what you talking about, in order for it to be something that we perpetuate throughout our lineage over time, having healthy children, healthy marriages, healthy relationships, healthy living for longevity, you got it's a lot of work to do, bro. And what I'm saying to you is it ain't wrong for you to dream or to be, for you to want something of that nature. I'm not depriving you of that. Mm-hmm. Because if you are feeling like in your masculinity that is a reward for you, let it be so. Like I say, but be clear on what you got to choose from out there with your options. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm gonna go and see the booty rocking everywhere, and then I'm gonna tell her, hey, you come with me because I'm gonna get you right, and you gonna discipline yourself, and then you gonna be this type of way. She gonna be like, bruh.
Oh no, I'm not Bob the Builder. I'm not doing none of that. You either are where you already yet or not. I'm not Bob the Builder. You see the planet waiting on anybody to evolve? The planet's not waiting on anybody. See, this is one of the things of coming up with consciousness. See, if I'd have known then what I know now, even then what I know now growing up, I would still have the same way. We all this love and waiting on for someone to evolve. I'm not Bob the Builder. This should be already implanted in your DNA. How is this system getting our children? This system is getting our children and keeping us in the infant state because they have the black woman working out all day long. They have the black man outside fucking all day trying to get some fucking money. Then when we come together, all we good for each other is that the only respect level that we have is when we fucking each other. The day we don't want to listen.
What's the difference in what you're saying? What's the difference in you having multiple women in the house to discipline themselves? You go fuck in the house and still get money somehow.
You're thinking about the sexual you're thinking about the sexual. Let me finish. You're thinking about the sexual contact. I'm talking about children. How do you get a next generation better than a previous generation? They got your children in school. They got us. Someone else is teaching your child while you're at work 18, 10, 12 hours a day. And then you come home and then you got to do laundry. You got to cook. You got to clean. That's superwoman to you. Meanwhile, this lizard is literally indoctrinating your child all day long. All you talking about is sex. That's all you talking about. See, who fucking had children? Let me explain something to you. Name a billionaire that don't have 10 to 12 women around them consistently. Name a billionaire. Billionaires pay attention to astrology. Name a billionaire that don't have 10 or 12 women around them consistently. Because feminine energy, when a woman believes in a man's idea, when she breathes life into his idea, it's able to come to the physical realm. So all you talking about is fucking. We all fucking out here. We got a bunch of fuck babies that are being. Well, you just said that. You said being in a house with a bunch of women. You didn't even get the aspect of teaching our children. You still haven't got to the point of.
You are going to teach them whether or not you're doing it verbally, whether you're doing it verbally, whether you're doing it written. You're going to be teaching the children. They're watching.
Okay, so you
know it. But what I'm saying is, and let's pipe it because I'm feeling the energy is real. It's getting high.
Oh, no doubt, the passion is there, but
I want to honor what you're saying, but I also, because we have an audience that is the breakdown and the balance of it. I'm gonna let him speak, but the breakdown and the balance. I wasn't just talking about pussy, What I'm saying to you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Queen. Go ahead, love.
What I'm saying to you is, in the mindset of the people that you would introduce this idea to in today's society, that is what it's going to be equated to. They are not. We have to understand what you're saying has to be understood, and it's not. It's not that you're saying something wrong. It's just that people ain't out there getting that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you come up and you say something like that, people automatically in the low vibrational state gonna be like, oh, he's talking about he want this book. He want a bunch of women to book. And if unless as a man, you are disciplined enough to make clear what your vision is, a woman ain't gonna follow that.
I mean, I just got finished. When I spoke about this, the first thing I asked you, that's why I asked that question. How do you feel about polygamy? And you said, nope, I'm with one man and one woman. I'm one man and one woman. So you would automatically, I understand how you felt from the door. So if you can rewind this video and you were talking about sex, if you listen to anything that I stated, when a woman has a baby and is a female, the female just stays with the woman till she's able to be passed off to her husband so she can start her own family. But when a woman has a male, the moment that breast milk stop coming out her titty, that's his responsibility. That's his responsibility. So where did we write in this book that the woman needs to be the carrier of the baby and she needs to be the raiser and the guider of the baby? So I'm not speaking about the boys out here that will run this idea on women and just get some fucking JJ, this, that, and the third. I'm talking about real men that will take up the responsibility to guide children. See, that's not a challenge. The world ain't no challenge. Getting a job, getting a BMW, getting a car, getting a credit score. That's not no challenge. How can you, your children is the challenge.
They gotta come out of the shadows for that.
Who has to come out of the shadows for that?
Who has? You talking about?
No, they. But listen. Well, I'm gonna bring them out of the shadows today. The problem I feel like. Hold on. The problem I feel is though. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The women that support the men like that. Wait a minute, Queen. The women that support men like that. They need to come out of the shadows. They need to come out of the shadows. That's how I feel.
You're talking about, in all honesty, if that's not something that is ingrained in our society, you have women who have had children whose fathers are not there. And if you talk about men today who are saying, even if a woman has a child, I'm not going to pick up that slack. When I say, where's Waldo, guess what? The likelihood of you finding women out there who don't have children are of age, they are younger likely than in their 30s or so. Now you might find a couple of them out there that just, been raised right, had, they virgins and things like that. But what you're saying, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that you got to be aware of the people you're talking to. We're talking about women who have children, right? Whose father, if the picture of the father is of such, they're not in the home. That trust has to be built amongst men and women that you can try that again and be more successful. You talking about women come out the shadow. Women are always ready to try. Women are always ready to try. Men, I'm just being honest.
No, listen,
women are ready to try.
Listen to me, Queen. This is why I love this dialogue. When I told you what me and you was talking before we got on here, I love your fire because it's going to be back and forth. I love this fire, and I want people to hear this. When you say women are willing to try, right from the gate, when I asked you, did you believe in polygamy? You just shot it completely down. You said, no, I believe in one man and one. So how would you even be? Now, wait a minute. A lot of women that are in their 30s that had children, what happened to the dude that you were with? Was he a deadbeat and no guy? But did he become a deadbeat was he a deadbeat before y'all had sex? Was he a deadbeat when you got pregnant? Was he a deadbeat after you got pregnant? What's the deal? What happened to him? Or is it that he decided that he wanted another woman because of the pressure that you were putting on him was no good? Was that the case?
Well, no, not at all. But
I ain't saying you. I'm just saying period.
But listen to what I'm saying, right? Because you've even spoken that you have children.
Yes.
You have a daughter. You have a son.
Yes.
Right. So your choice to not be with their mother anymore.
That's her choice, not mine.
Pressure on you.
That's her choice. That's her choice, not mine.
So what I'm saying to you, Kala, is that understanding the condition we in. Everybody gotta understand what their trauma bring them. You know what I'm saying? Whatever choices they make, right? We have to understand where we are as a people and how we get there, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I'ma just, if it's gonna be on 420 people in here, let me just be clear, okay? I'm gonna be transparent about it. With the pressure, what you were talking about as far as women not being able to have children beyond a certain point. My daughter, I'm in my mid-30s. Mm-hmm. I did not have my child until I was about 31. Mm-hmm. When I got out of undergrad, because I was so pressured to go to school, okay, thinking that was the thing for me, and I was, borderline coming out of the church and coming out of, things in my mental capacity. Mm-hmm. I knew for a fact that there was some type of chance that I might not have a child if I didn't make a choice. And no, if I made the wrong choice, I could never say I made the wrong choice because of the seed that came out of it. It could have been the best choice that I made in my life, even though I chose maybe the wrong person. And sometimes in what we go through, in the pressures of, you got to understand, when people are coming out of the pressures of the world or the mindsets of things that they've been in, we make choices. And we're living with those choices. So, no, I wasn't pressuring the fool. Listen, if he had found another woman, bring her to dinner. I'm going to cook for both of y'all. Okay? Because if she's going to take you away from driving me nuts, amen. But
see, now, wait a minute. Wait, you just said, did you see that? Now, hold up. He drove. Oh, my gosh. So he drove you nuts, huh? That's what I'm saying. So you saying he drove? I'm not saying that he didn't drive you nuts. I'm saying so he. Yeah, come on. So he drove you. I'm not. See, no, you try to get with it. Hold on. You try. You try to get. Listen. Listen. I'm gonna tell you, my sister. Listen. I'm gonna tell you. This is just being honest, and I'm not speaking for most men, but I just know from my point of view as a man. When you stated that you was like, well, your children's mom, you decide not to be with her because of, no, I didn't choose not to be with her. She chose not to be with me because she can't accept polygamy. She can't accept her sister. That's has nothing to do with me. So is that my fault? No, it's not. So if you had a man that not only provided but mentally and emotionally for his children, he's there when you call him. He picks his phones up. He shows up when you need him there. He is there consistently for you. But he also has another family that he is consistently there for as well. Now, does that make him a bad man? Does that make him a bad man if he is still spending time with his children, teaching his children, spending time with you and giving you the nurturing and love that you need? But he also is 7 days in a week. 3 of those other days, he's somewhere else. Or, hey, a village family lived together. This gay shit is something that the European man brought in. We never was into that. So polygamy has nothing to do with gayness. That's you don't see planets rubbing surfaces together. That's bull crap. So if you have a man that's doing that, is he a bad man? Is he a bad man that he has 2 wives and 4 children and he is providing for them? He is teaching his children. He is spending time with his children. He is encouraging his queens. Is that a bad man?
I don't say that that's a bad man. I just say that for us to be the multidimensional beings that often highlight, there are levels to getting to know a person spiritually and intellectually, emotionally. Those things happen. Now, what we need today is, for me, if I were to enter into some type of, if that was the case, I would need to be secure in the fact that that multidimensional part of me is understood. And let me just say to you, ain't a whole lot of light turned on in the communities that we live in that would offer that appreciation where a person would be comfortable with that. So no, it is very selfish because guess what? When you want someone to be with you, we are all in search of someone. Somebody said, I think it's a meme that says, may you find your soulmate, or may you find somebody that understands you so you don't have to continually translate your soul. If at the levels where we are not getting to know each other, where that is a comfortability that, okay, I know you. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. I see you. I am you.
Mm-hmm.
Then he can move past the physicality parts. But for a lot of us, physical touch, physical togetherness means love, means acceptance, means, you know what I'm saying, I am into you. If we understand that that's not all of what it means, that stuff has to be taught a lot. And I'm just here to say.
I got one point when you said that point has to be taught. Can I ask you a question? Then why is it that women, when they get to a certain age, 33, 35 years old, they get a cat, a dog, and they don't want to deal with men anymore? They say, I don't want to deal with men anymore. Why didn't they develop that self-discipline when they were young, when they was a brand new banana? Because they felt like the world owed them something.
You know why? Let's just get all the way real. It takes the older women to teach the younger women.
Thank you.
Second of all, it also takes, you got to understand, in the society that we live in, choice and, freedom of whatever is out there. You know what I'm saying? So even if I want you to do a certain thing because it is good for you, just like you want the lady to eat well and not have a Pepsi, listen, you asked her what she wants.
Right.
And she told you, give me the thing that's going to be good right now. and unless we're teaching what it feels like to be made whole in your multidimensional self, so that when you do meet somebody that is able to, open up or expand beyond, what you've been used to, you can comfortably go down that path. But for a lot of, what you got, a lot of smorgasbord out here. So I might do that for a little second, but then the chick might, when you say the females can't get along, we ain't even taught that part. We ain't even taught how to not be back. Listen, I grew up in a house with a mother that gossiped. So if I learn a behavior, I got to undo away with all of that. To me, to even live in the house with 3 other women or to know you over there with so-and-so, I'm just telling you the toxicity of our culture don't allow for the community to be built like that among women. Where it's like, okay, girl, I know he coming over there. Let him know he left his stuff in the bathroom. Next time, let him clean. If I learn a behavior.
Oh, my bad. I apologize. I actually try to put this on a thing so people can see it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's okay.
Where the women, if we are God, we talking to each other at a high place about you.
Okay.
Holding you accountable. We're not even at that stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole deep thing. But I'm going to just ask this question out there. Just ask the question because I'm still interviewing you.
Yes.
Give us the first 3 steps to life. Give us the first 3 steps to reclaiming our right position on the planet and the earth as far as you're concerned.
The first 3 steps, eating according to your genetic makeup. That's the first thing, cleaning up your body from the inside out. The second thing, knowledge of your genetic makeup. And then that right there, with those 2 steps right there, will automatically lead you back to each other. I would figure you just need 2, eating right and studying your genetic makeup. And that'll lead you back to your brother and sister. That'll lead you back to your brother.
For the people that are in the comment section saying, brown skin, white minds and all of that, listen, there is no part of me that is a part of that. Let me just explain to you, when you have a dichotomy, when you understand the whole of something, You don't sit and say, this is going to be what it is. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. And what I'm trying to say for the people who may not understand that whether or not those things are the righteous way to do it, we still have to build upon that.
Now let me
coming in here, if you say something like, oh, well, that's a European mindset. Well, hold up. The mindset that you're trying to give me, you're gonna have to exchange something.
right.
So the point is, I'm willing to give up something false for something real when I know it's real. What I'm trying to tell you is we got a lot of pseudo stuff out there that needs to be highlighted first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like if you go in a store and you know you used to buying a certain brand of toilet paper. If I go and I get great value, I know that ain't Scott. I know it ain't gonna wipe me the same way. I know, and I'm making an analogy because it's like you got a lot of pseudo stuff out there. Mm-hmm. It could look like what you were just saying. You got some guys that might be just tricking off with it, like want a bunch of women around and don't have that capacity. He's a great value piece of tissue. Mm-hmm. Why would I take him like my nose, my behind, I know the fly paper in it ain't gonna hold up. Mm-hmm. I need to get something that is going to be sturdy. And if we ain't building them like that no more, that's the first step, is to build them like that. And like I said, even if you say women who are about that need to come out the shadows, listen, the men who have the mental capacity to handle that need to be in the forefront doing that.
Right. I agree with you with that, but it's hard when it's a man can only teach another group of men, but a woman can teach and guide a whole nation. Because if you look at our black race, well, what every man has a navel, which means a woman preceded him, which means at an infant state, a woman was teaching him. I was with both of my children. I seen them grow up. I watched them grow up. I could come in the house with $1 million. No matter what their mother tells them, they are always going to feed and take from the mother. This is why this entity, they got the black race confused that they are attacking a black man directly. No, they're not. They are systematically using the black woman mind to destroy our race. So how do we stop that? How do we get to the crust of that? That's where I'm at.
So me and you, we were talking earlier about it, and we were first of all saying, I was saying to you about discretion. I was saying that because when you're about to play a game or you're playing on the field, if your opponent gets your playbook, they gonna know how to offense. You know what I'm saying? They gonna know how to defense, and they gonna know how to do what it is they do. And for me, what I'm saying is, we literally have to be in a space where we are using discretion on how we're building around them, even within them. And just like they are tearing us up from the inside out, we have to be the fortified people who build from the inside in order to, even if you're walking amongst them, you still got to be able to know the code is this. Because we are literally, if it's an underground railroad at this point, and we do it, I believe a lot of us are doing the underground railroad through these lives and through the stuff that we're doing because we're building momentum around, the whole destruction of the system itself. Mm-hmm. We are all building on that building block. Whether or not we are all talking about it, but that's just like even in the church. You got the church, you got a church in 6 churches in a 2-mile radius. And even though you may not know Jesus here, me and Kalai talked earlier in the live about what it meant. You know what I'm saying? What he felt like Yeshua meant. If you missed the earlier parts of that, we built upon that to understand, even if we're not talking about a white Jesus or somebody that you grew up with who doesn't have power, we're still talking about something that is powerful. And what I'm saying to you is we got to be discretionary in our movement within the system we live in. We know the system we live in, point blank in the period. We know it. We know it all the way down to the church. We know it down to the movies. We know it down. We know it's coming out. They're gonna show the trailer. Get yourself ready. You go to the movie. You get your brainwashed. You come out. You do the little stupid shit out in the street. We know the plan. We're not ignorant toward the enemy devices. Like, that's the thing, is like, if we don't call it an enemy and we don't start to build in war around it, we're going to continue to perpetuate it because we choose to naivety. And if we really truly believe that, knowing all the while the person who is in control of the resources, if we see the deprivation in the earth that we see and at the level we seeing it down, we know that the person who has the resources are not governing them according to. I'm gonna just stop. We know we are all knowing. If you talking about know thyself or the pineal gland, we know.
Yeah, we do.
We see the conditions.
Yeah, but
you still watching the news.
Yeah,
you know it's stupid. You know it's false. You know that new album that's coming out got nothing but death, killing, destruction. You know that, but you like that. And if you say you like the slow death, or you guess what? Everybody gonna have to sacrifice that mindset in order for the longevity of the race to rise up. And that's just period. If you want to keep doing it, guess what? Those who gonna die, if they say COVID-19 hit people in the Black community whose health wasn't up to par, guess what? If we ain't speaking loud enough about growing our vegetables inside of our homes and selling them to one another and knowing where you can go get some good cucumbers or whatever, if we're not doing it, ain't no complaining at this point.
Right. No, I mean, I agree with you, but I want to say this to you as well, because you spoke about the playbook, right? The entity already have our playbook, because they have the mother of humanity giving birth in their hospitals and they're taking her placenta. They have the mother of humanity going in once a year getting pap smears. See, this is how they know what constellation, what part of the universe we are in. They have the mother universe going in there getting blood work done consistently. So when people ask me, or, as far as change or what we should do, the number one thing is eating healthy and knowing our genetics. And once you understand that, then you will know how to beat your enemy. Now, the enemy, the only reason why we believe that we should go into their hospitals and get checked out, we believe that we have diseases and not being poisoned, is because we are prescribed to their education system. Not only that, we are prescribed to a loving heart that was passed down to us, that was passed down to us through slavery, and the fact that we love our elders, our parents previously before us, and we refuse to break away from that, because it would show a what we would call disrespecting grandma or our elders. But then I have to ask you, what kind of respect or love or value did the elders have for you to continue to perpetuate this to you without even telling you about it or bringing it to your attention? See, we're not talking about slavery. We talk about slavery a little bit. Yes, we do to a certain extent, but they show you slavery. So we don't talk about the real depths on what slavery has done to us and the experimentations that they have done on us. So how do we get a race of people to stop experimenting on us and stop getting us and stop putting us through the same situation? Simple. Home births. We used to have home births at home. Now we take them to the motherfucking hospital. We used to have home births at home. Women had their babies. And when women had babies, if you pull up ancient texts and carvings, you will see, you could pull up carvings when women were squatting and having children. It was always women around other women. Guess what? A girl to go to the hospital right now, she lucky if her fucking mother show up. No other sisters are showing up to the hospital. No other sisters are showing up around and giving her any kind of support and nurturing and loving that she needs. See, sisters should be doing that stuff with sisters. See, we take away, we want the man to do women duties, because women don't like women no motherfucking more. You want me to sit there and have conversations with you about life and all this other bullshit that's on TV. But you don't understand, I'm a man. I like to have fun. So you don't want to relate to me. You want to look like a mannequin all day. You don't want to play catch with the fucking tissue because you don't want to break your nail with a fucking piece of tissue. Let's play catch. You understand? Let's run. We used to do things like that. We did things that bonded us together. Like, for instance, you have NBA, WNBA. Women are bonding with women. Men are bonding with men. That's not how we played. We took the game, so we made the game so serious that we can't have 5 men and 5 women and we play together and bond with one another. It has to be serious. You see? And this is what the part that I want to drive home to my brothers and sisters. That's it. That's my point. And the fact that what's really killing our race and that we don't want to pay attention to it is that Western culture women are putting black men inside of a box, and they're holding black men in this country to a criteria that's only fit for the European man. And we are, and the woman is blind to the fact that she is being used to emasculate him. Now, we're going to start with this too. Every man has a neighbor, which means a woman preceded him. When boys are being raised by their mothers mothers are telling their boys, look how handsome he is. Look how beautiful he is. Oh, he's going to have all the ladies. He's going to have all of this. So you're raising him just like the male you don't want to be with. So when he's 21 and he feels as though that he should have all of the ladies, why are we now holding him to a status to tell him that he's a dog and he's out of control with his phallus? But when he was 0 to 14 and 15 years old, he was cute, handsome, and was going to have all of the women. So now when he's of age, you want him to develop self-discipline? No, that discipline should have been on his ass when he was 0 to 9 years old, 0 to 15 years old. Why would he need to develop self-discipline at 21 years old on a world that's built off sex, murder, and drugs? And he's eating nothing but food that is shrinking his brain, and he is ingesting a world that tells him to look at his woman, look at his mother, look at the sister of humanity as an object, as opposed to something valuable and precious and rare. So, and then we have the sisters today affiliating boys and men together. I don't affiliate myself with boys, just like I don't affiliate world goddess women with queen sisters. I don't affiliate them. You understand? They are in 2 different stratospheres. 2 different stratospheres. So I don't affiliate myself with boys. So when the stuff that I'm speaking about, only real galactic men can handle. But if I don't have real galactic queens that's breathing life into that, and all they see is a man that want to wet his phallus when you control sex. So if I'm with you and you say, check this out, bro, we're not having sex this week, but I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to play fun. We're going to go running. We're going to go to the park. We're going to go X, Y, and Z. We're going to go sit down over here. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. Now you stimulate a different part of his brain. And guess what? If the nigga don't want to do that, see you. See, now you made the choice. Guess what? You didn't put the carriage before the horse. You didn't say, oh, he handsome, he cute. I like his swag. I like the way he talking. I like this, that, and the third. Come on, let's sleep with each other. And then after you sleep with each other, you find out that he's nothing but a piece of shit. And then you blame it on the man. But the problem is that you accepted that. You accepted that. That's all I'm saying. This is, and believe me, I am one brother that fights hard, tooth and nail, for my sisters out here, because I know what you have been through. But you have reached an age. This feminist world has developed a bubble around you, whereas though you don't see what you are doing. Your actions that you are displaying is justified by a world that is literally destroying our race. Literally destroying our race. Okay.
Now, I understand that. I understand every word that you just said. But it takes continual teaching, and it takes a continual hearing in the ear for everybody to understand or understand or understand. It takes that. You're undoing a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You are, dressing a lot of wounds. You are looking at people who have been mistrusting. you look at like everything you say about the healthcare system, trust me, I know. But and because of our elders not telling us the truth, a lot of us have had to experience that. Mm-hmm. And it is the comfort. I didn't mean a galactic man like you until in my 30s. So up until that point, there has been a comfort to come and guide me. But there is something I had to literally open up my mind to be able to see those things and not call a thing something it ain't. Not say, this is good for me. Like, I had to literally look at it and say, okay, I'm dying. Mm-hmm. Let me throw that down. Let me figure out what's the next thing. And even every day, we get a chance to be better. We get a chance to challenge ourselves because at the end of the day, it's muscle memory. It takes you to continue every day to lay down, okay, I'm going to lay down this mindset. And when I'm thinking about if I want to go and work or do something, the pressure sometimes that we're under in the world sometimes, it could make you want to go back to do that. It could make you want to go back into bondage. But when you recognize your power, you're like, you know what? No, if I want it, I can create it. If I need that, I can get with my other sisters or my brothers and we can do this. And when the more that we realize that we can't trust the space to build it ourselves, we will do that. Mm-hmm. But we also have to trust that we need to know who's on the go. Because, you know what I mean? You got some that if you want to go back and do that, listen, go ahead and do that. But I know that that's going to tear us down from the inside out.
Yeah, I agree with you.
We're not ready. We are ready. Let me change my verb. We are ready to come away. But the how on a consistent basis, the longevity of our superior nature being sustained in the earth has to have a literal architect. This is like you don't start building no house and you ain't got a blueprint or a plan. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of stuff going on out there where we got people talking about it. Oh, we got this, or like reparations, or we need, we're going to start building black and buying black. Okay, but that sounds all the well on these platforms. But if we do not come out and risk, that's the thing, the self-preservation and the not wanting to lose our lives and the not wanting to buck the system and the not wanting to build like that, all that fear, it is a lot of fear out there. That needs to be covered with when you talk about, when you say something about love, like love is a concept that, I mean, if you keep breaking it down the way you do, like that's it's kind of like the trust that people have been built upon with love feel like I wouldn't be able to talk to you, you know what I'm saying, cross to cross, if I didn't feel the love through your passion or through what you're doing. You ain't got to love it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that, it's the agape, you know what I'm saying? It's that thing that I know that is there. You know what I'm saying? We don't always be having it. That's why females can't get along with other females, because a female like me, I'm walking in nothing. When I show up, I'm walking in nothing but light and nothing but giving and nothing but, you know what I'm saying, appreciation for you in the space that I'm in. But a woman that is going to look at me from the outside, intimidated or not even sure of herself, she's going to do everything to destroy that, whether it's with her mouth, whether it's with her posture, you know what I'm saying? Whether women do it all the time. I can walk outside in the street corner and I can be walking my dog. And another female who's not in tune to that vibration when I pass by. When I pass by, you ought to catch it. You ought to catch the wave that I'm giving. What's up, sis? How you doing? Love, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? It don't be that.
So men out here. So men out here today in America are suffering because of the disconnect between sisters. Basically, so because of the disconnect between sisters, men are being put in boxes. Men are being told consistently on TV or all kinds of shows. Do you know? If you ever look at the movies when they show men that don't have, like, let's say Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, when he show a black man that has success, that's something different. But let's just pull up a movie everyone familiar with, Soul Food. Now, remember when the guy lost his job? He was scared to death to tell who? To tell who? His fucking woman. Yo, he was afraid. He was down like, yo, man, I just lost my job, man. I don't know what to do. When I should be able to come to you first. Queen, I lost my job. And I should be happy. Babe, it's going to be all right. I know you did your thing. I know you was doing your thing and work hard on that job. I know we already know what the system is. The system has to fire and hire a certain amount consistently. I already know. This man was crying. He was afraid to tell his woman, afraid to come to the woman and tell him how he truly feel and what's taking place. Now, I want a lot of black men. Hold on. Let me say this. Let me just say this. Black men, my brothers today are afraid to come and voice their opinions to my sisters. They are afraid because they know it will set you off 0 to 100. They know if we say to you, babe, I mean, can you cook something? Can you do? Or what the fuck? Like, you don't like the way it's just, you can't tell a woman today that she is not perfect. Because if you do, that is the end of the relationship. I mean, it's over. And that's hurtful. That is really hurtful because you are perfect. It's just the actions that are being displayed today are not perfect. And we have to be able to look at that. That's why I go up and down this block right here. You know how many women I see in houses? And they all single. Loving women, nurturing women. They're all single. What's going to happen? People don't understand what's taking place in this tribulation. This is going to hit the fan. And these women that are alone. A lot of women say today, men, we left y'all alone. The actions that are being displayed today says that you want to be alone. No other race woman is displaying these actions. No other race woman is displaying these actions. So I'm just trying to, that's why I say I want to get rid of God. I want to get rid of love. And I want to bring value and appreciation. And I'm not black back to us because we're not black. We are beautiful rainbows. We're not. Beautiful rainbows that should love and nurture and care for one another. And more importantly, we should not leave not one child alone. If your child is outside playing on the street, that's everybody's child. That's everybody's child. So if that's everybody's child, ain't no way in the world a van can come up and snatch you. They can't get snatched. If your daughter is just as important to me as she is to you, she can't get snatched. She can't get tooken. She can't, a police officer not gonna come up and gun her down for fighting one of her own brothers and sisters. That's not gonna take place because we see the God in each other now. The mother, the God of humanity is breathing undeniable life into her children now. You can be anything you want, son, S-U-N. You can be anything you want. I need you to look through the black woman. In order for you to be anything you want, you have to protect her. You have to protect not just mommy, but you have to protect each and every last one of us. If the black woman is telling that to boys and babies, even in the womb, in the stomach, when you get out, you are great, you are powerful, but your job is to guard, honor, and protect every woman. You got brothers out here that will cuss a black woman out and say, I love you to their mother. And say, I love you to their mother. So I want to remove that aspect. And most of those people believe in a higher supreme being. The higher supreme being, he'll take care of it. He'll take care of it. When he get to it, he'll take care of it. Why not us take care of it right here, right now? Right now. God is in the spiritual realm. We operating in the spiritual and the physical realm. So tell me how great we are. Tell me how great. He shut himself off. We didn't. You bring life from the spiritual realm to the physical realm. God ain't show up not one time in the physical realm. So why am I giving homage to him? I'm turning to you, my sister, and I promise with every breath that's in this body, I'm going to continue to do that. And I'm going to continue to tell my other brothers to do the same thing. He don't understand what his reward is by just honoring and protecting and guiding up his children. But I'm going to show it to him. Absolutely. And I'm going to teach it. I'm not teaching, I'm going to breathe it I'm going to speak it every moment I get. Every moment I get.
Thank you so much for that. And I don't know. I was going to ask this one question, but I don't know what that is. Now that we talk about it, I don't know what I want to ask now.
Come on, you can ask any question. Come on.
I do want to take some time for some questions just before, you know what I'm saying? We have been on here for a while, and I want to thank everybody who jumped on and who's been, you know, in for the not down, drag out. Listen, Kalai, you are valued. It's just in general, you know what I'm saying? I want to just say too that what our job as women, I believe, is to start the conversation. Oh, okay. Somebody said, ask the question. I'm gonna ask the question. But to start the conversation, I really just felt while you were talking that in order for a lot of these things to happen, like, we're gonna have to have a gentle space, like. And I'm not saying based on, because your passion is your passion. That's not, don't have nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. It's just that as women, when you're talking about the nurturing and you're talking about, you know, us building with women together to build up men, mm-hmm. and it starts like, listen, the gentleness really is going to have to happen. And I think, honestly, when we talk about women, we have not been able to be gentle with ourselves, like in a real way. So for you to say, like, a man will cuss out his, you know, wife or baby mama or somebody that love on his mother, like, to be honest, there's been a lot of wounds with the words, you know what I'm saying? A lot of cutting with the mouth and the tongue, you know what I'm saying? That has helped, that has hurt us from really being able to really hear and build each other up. It's going to happen through words. Yes. It's going to happen through, you know what I'm saying, a gentle mind. Like, it's not going to happen through just this thing that we're thinking of. And I do want to go back to the point you were making about soul food. I honestly want to say, because these images are depicted to us, we begin to believe those truths also. So even though there are women out there who would love, you know what I'm saying, to have their mate or their partner come to them, honestly, women crave intimacy and deepness. There are women that want to be able to feel, you know what I'm saying, that energy from you, that she is trusted in those ways. But I also, you know what I'm saying, if you are seeing those images that you can't do that, those are what is in the mind where men are afraid. Because I've seen this be put in my face. But unless you get a valuable woman or you know somebody, you know what I'm saying, like, I know that I could go to so-and-so and she's going to hear what I'm saying, or my homegirl is open-minded, she's going to listen to what I'm saying, and then she's going to edify and build me up. I'm going to build up. I got 3 brothers. I grew up in the house with no sisters, so I had 3 brothers. And even though I grew up around these black men and I nurtured and loved them from young, mm-hmm. I know that the value, what you say about me craving the sisterhood, perhaps at this time in my life, this message for me helps to fill that void of me not having those sisters. I crave that. So I know that now that I crave that, I have to get it and deal with it a certain way as if I do value it, because I have been void of it for so long. And I think that unless now that we're at this stage in our humanity and at this stage in our lineage, we have done so long without the community and the the partnership that now mm-hmm. we could deeply value it because we have been deprived from it.
Yes.
I was going to ask you about the multidimensional beings that can Caucasian see the star seeds.
Right. We ain't gonna say and lie about that shit, man. If you don't have a connection to the sun, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. But they have energy. They have spirits. You see? And I want people to understand this when I speak about other races. Everything has energy. You understand? But you have a soul. We have a soul. That's why we come from the solar system. If you look at the solar rays, they look just like these chakra colors right here. They solar rays, solar radiation. Looks just like that. That's what your soul looks like. All other races are black. They don't emit colors. We are actually the white race. This is why when you see white orbs in the sky, just pull up crop circles being made by white orbs. You see white orbs, that's you. You think they're machines. That's not machines. That's how you look. You look just like the fucking sun. You just encapsulated inside of a body. This is they're trying to tell you. You look just like the white sun. If you go pull up the movie, The Knowing with Nicolas Cage, at the end, they all was in those beings was dressed in all black, and they depict them in white characters, but they was dressed in all black. At the end, when they came out of the skin, they were taller and they were white orbs. They were white light. We are the white race. You understand? They are the black race. Black means void of color. You have no color. We are the color people. White emits all colors. This is why now the sun is white. You see all different colors consistently around the sun. You see rainbow clouds. They're not clouds. All of them are not clouds. I'm just telling you that too, my people. They're not clouds. I have shown you. Yeah, I showed you.
Because at the end of the day, when you say that, when you think about just the extraction of our culture and the extraction of our resources and they want to be us so bad.
Bingo. That's why this wasn't an enslavement. This was an embarrassment.
Be us so bad that you would dare call yourself white.
Yes, and the thing is that they're calling themselves white. A lot of white people don't know why they are calling themselves white, because they're not white. Even when you look at your skin, they're not white. They're actually red. You understand? And they call themselves white because, again, it makes them comfortable. It gives them some sort of acceptance in a world that they had to build a world to get. They are born in depression mode. I want y'all to understand that. But they had to build a world to make them feel like they are naturally from here. This world makes them feel like they are naturally from here. Can you imagine if you literally took the police force away, and you really lived naturally? People, they wouldn't know what to do. They couldn't connect with nature. This is why they had to encage nature. You understand? You could connect with nature. They had to encage and destroy nature because you have a natural bond with them. You walk in Africa, women walking with lions. You walk in Africa, brothers walking next to elephants, wild animals.
All right, so I got a question.
Yes.
I got a question. With that being said, this question is multifaceted because do you believe in segregation or integration? And before you answer that, do you believe that? Now I know you've talked about I know you talked about us being already together, already together in integration. But I'm talking about what has been passed down. I want you to talk about it in a way that takes away the building blocks that have been built from civil rights movement up until where we are currently, in the truth of segregation. When it comes to them, like, they are segregated from us. Mm-hmm. So do you believe, because we have bought into the lie of us being in an integrated world, but us perpetuating their lifestyle? When you say they had to build a world in order to function, can you break down? Because I'm fully aware. I'm here with you, Kala. Right. But I need people out there to understand how we are not in an integrated world, but we are indeed segregated from them on multi-levels, and I want you to kind of unpack that for us.
Okay, I'm gonna do the best I can with that. I would say that the world that we are prescribed to, we think that it's a world that we built together. No, that world was being built mentally during slavery. And this is the end results of it now today. But how can I say, we asked that. Say the last part of your question again, because I really want to touch on that part. I want you to ask that question again when I can hear it flow through my mind again.
Okay, so we are not in a integrated world as we believe and have been accustomed to know.
Right. No,
we are in fact segregated on multi-levels from our counterparts and from our open enemy. But I want you to help some of the people out there who are locked in to things like from the civil rights movement, what we're perpetuating. They're locked into this idea of integration in a world, like you just explained. We think that we built this world together, when in fact we're not. So that, when I want you to break it down, because as we move forward in our building from the inside, we have to be clear on how we are not integrated out there for real.
True.
But we are locked in here mentally
and in our
to
hearts.
that idea of the integration. And I'm trying to get us to get to a real concrete understanding of it.
One of the things about us is that we must understand, and this is why I speak about genetics, is that we're not meant to be alone. If you look at nature, if you look at the planet, everything works in unison with one another. So we're not meant to be alone. So we naturally love and preserve life. So now we have a group of people that beat on us and then kept us here and made us feel like that we wasn't loved. So basically, it's like we are like a woman. I mean, and I hate to use a woman, but we are in an abusive relationship, you understand, with a man, you understand, but we love him so much because we feel like if he was to leave us, then I wouldn't have anything. See, this is the psychological warfare that has been placed into our minds, is that if we feel as though that
afraid to exile?
Yes, we are afraid.
Afraid to exile?
Yes.
Psychologically.
Yes.
Afraid to leave it?
Psychologically.
Okay, so then let's unpack the fact that if we are afraid of exile, what is the thread that is holding it? Is it the mere fact of survival, or what is it? Is it convenience?
I would say convenience for one, and it's fear. Fear is the number one. Fear of the unknown, fear of the unseen. And this is what is so funny to me. You know what I mean? I laugh and cry at the same time. This is why we have this muscle. This is why I speak about this muscle. You understand? That's why I speak about this muscle, because we could see the unseen. Exactly. Right. So if I poison you, if I feed you food, if I feed you an environment, if I feed you food, if I feed you trauma all the fucking time on TV, I am shedding off of this eye. So only thing you can visualize is police harassment, fucking poverty. You can't visualize nothing past what's being shown in front of your physical two eyes. So the first thing I tell people is to change what you eat to clean up your pineal gland. That's the first thing. So that is the key right there. That is the strong key right there. Our people are we are trapped because we can't see. And the reason why we can't see, because we are poisoned to be docile. And while we're poisoned and docile, we are in fear.
And so with that being said, you talk about the dark ages, how things are going back to the ice, and how, we talk about now. My question is, with all of that, do you not believe that we have a right to enjoy the earth? Like, do you believe that because sometimes when you talk a lot, it almost sounds like doom and there's destruction, and and to be honest, I see a world that is preserved because if you're talking about from a galactic place, I literally see an abundance of, and before anything, when we talk about manifesting and we talk about giving energy and power and things like that, to be honest, from my womb am I giving birth to that reality? Because when I look from a galactic place, I see the vision of us enjoying the earth, of the quivers being full, of us being segregated from those places where we are not mentally enslaved or physically enslaved to do the things we do not want to do on a day-to-day basis. And if we do allow that system to crumble, what I told you before we connected on this live, I said, listen, I said, they are data-driven. They need to see the data show the disconnect. Real talk. They need to see the numbers go like this, because our vision and our frequency has gone up like this. And guess what? Our worth is worth more now. So now you're going to have to really, you want to get this encapsulated and you want to get this bound up, you're going to really have to pay top dollar for it. Guess what? You can't afford it. You can't afford it. It's not on the market for you no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking from my passion, but I believe we are here to enjoy the earth in all honesty. And I know that it does take, they're snuffing out our light and killing our vessels so that, whoever's behind us, our kids get that. It's so deeply woven, you know what I'm saying, from down to student loan debt to mortgages and like literally the credit system. I try to, think about what the credit system does is it rewards Caucasian people for being consumers off of our creative capital that they sell back to us, and then they get the rewards to live off of. But then they want to, when they sell it back to you, they want to bind you by the same credit system that you don't even need. Yeah, well, you don't need any of it.
And we don't. And what people don't understand, white people start off with a credit score of 800. See, they start off with that. You start off with a credit score of 600. People don't understand that. And white people have to fuck up their credit. You got to build your credit. That's the difference. And they're not telling us that. But I want to say this right here too. When you spoke about two things, mental slavery and physical slavery. I feel like mental slavery and physical slavery is a choice. One, both. I feel like both of them is a choice. I feel like they are a choice. All right. And then we said enjoy the earth, right? Now, I agree with you with this part, that we should be enjoying the earth. But I also have to say this too. And when I paint this picture, I can't help it that I am talking to some souls because it's the truth. It's the truth in what I feel. People don't have to feel like that. When we say enjoy the earth, right? Now, I have to look around on the planet. I see barbecue grills. I see motherfucking clubs. I see Hennessy bottles. I see vacation. In fact, I see sisters going on trips, the clubs, to different islands. I see that we are enjoying this earth pretty good. The only thing is that we are enjoying this earth in death. Our children are dying. And the most important thing to God is children. The most important thing to divine God is children. And we are adults that are literally enjoying the earth while our children are being indoctrinated and trapped to be stayed inside of an infant state. Organ harvesting, fucking sex traffic, and a whole lot of other things that are taking place with our children. So yeah, we did enjoy the earth. Guess what's going to happen to us right now? For our fucking longevity enjoyment, we're going to get our asses handed to us. It's just point blank and simple. So wherever people is at, whenever shit go boom, shit come up out of the sky, understand something. It has to take place. I'm not saying that it's going to be doom and gloom for everyone. But let me just tell you this. If you were God.
So let me just ask you though.
Yes.
From what I'm hearing you say, just let me clear it up for the people who listen.
Yes.
Because what I often hear you say is, based on this doom and gloom, like what we have enjoyed, if at the end of the day, are we being punished for not taking up our rightful place and stopping the perpetuation of it? Or are we being punished for trying to survive or, play along and get along within it?
No.
That's the thing, because we have, when you talk about sisters going out on a trip to do, now in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, now you're doing these things based on a lie that was sold and handed back to you. Mm-hmm. So the whole idea of going on a cruise and, going on these, like all of that based in what it's based in, going to work, you're going to work your 40 40 hours, you're going to take your trip, you're going to put in your leave, you're going to enjoy yourself under those confines. When you actually have freedom to reign about the earth and enjoy it all anyway. Right. You just haven't learned that. You haven't learned that skill.
Right.
But are we being punished when this happens for our ignorance or our naivety?
Well, we're going to be punished because of our lack of self-discipline and our ignorance. And I want people to understand the kind of punishment that we're going to have. The kind of punishment that we're going to have is that majority of us are going to witness greatness. We're just not going to experience greatness. Punishment is that you're going to see some of your brothers and sisters doing things on this planet that you never thought that was going to happen. And the punishment for those that did give their energy away and did not trust in themselves and harmonize with everything on this planet, you're going to have to learn how to reopen your fucking chakras, or you're going to start this journey all over again. That is what's going to take place. There will be no more ass whipping, chains, and whipping. None of that shit. If you don't know, that was a choice in the beginning. You had a choice to allow a motherfucker to put a chain on you or whoop you. You understand? Or turn around and be like, no, you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. I don't care if you take my vessel, but we loved our vessel more than we loved our soul. So that's why it was so easy for them to put you in chains and binds. See, that's why it's so easy to get vaccinated, because we love our vessel more than we love our soul. Most people that are getting vaccinated want things to go back to normal. They want to get back to the slow death. See, so when I say judgment for us, it's doom and gloom for the other races. It's doom and gloom for my brothers and sisters that want to practice transgender and homosexuality. I will tell you that right there. Let me explain something to you. I don't mean no harm. Any brother that's practicing that shit, you are done from the fucking door. It ain't like you can't change, but I'm just letting you know. You are completely the fuck done. So that there, and the fact that we given up our children. We have children right now that live at home with us that still feel alone. So we have given up our children, our most precious and valuable thing that we should hold to our hearts. We have given that up. So that is going to be something that we are going to have to deal with. Not only the fact that we breathe life into a planet that's full of darkness. So a lot of us have to witness it. We have to witness the shit that we breathe life into. This is what the age of Aquarius is about, the age of revealing. The reveal is going to be so catastrophic that a lot of people going to want to die. That's how much truth is going to be, it's going to come out, that a lot of people will really want to die. So for me, my sister, I strongly believe that, like I said, it's the truth thing. That we are going to, the North is going back on the ice. These people, a lot of people don't belong here on this planet. And a lot of people are the results of raping, mixed breeding. You understand? We have to be honest with this. You have a red ant and a black ant. They don't procreate with one another. They speak to each other. They harmonize with one another, but they continue to keep it moving. So these are the things that are going to be, when it comes to our race, the fact that we are following another race, the fact that we gave up on our children, and the fact that we are procreating out of our race. Those are the things that we are going, also giving our energy away to something other than your race. That's what's going to happen. So it's no doom and I would consider that doom and gloom, because when I look at my brothers and sisters that was building pyramids, teleporting and talking to each other, the hell with that. I want to do that. That's where that 95% junk DNA coming at.
Damn. I was watching Lucy. I'm like, shoot, we actually
bingo.
I'm like, yo, I know it to be true. I know we have the literal power to be like Lucy. You talk about coming through, like, bro, I'll be there in a minute.
Let me ask you a question. Was Lucy God? Was Lucy God?
I mean, based on the way the movie was portrayed, no, she had been she had been come in contact and influenced by this sparkly substance,
which is neuromelanin.
She had come encounter with whatever the blue stuff was that was,
they give you the blue. They give you the color blue because that's what we supposed to illuminate. Just like an avatar, the color blue. The planet is going to change. It's going to change blue. But the question is that I asked you, was she God or did she possess God-like ability?
She possessed God-like ability.
Bingo.
And I mean,
bingo. There she is.
If you say the black woman was God, they used Scarlett Johansson. They used somebody else to try to try to give off that which we know how to do, which is in us. Like I honestly, to be honest, I mean, if we get in tune to nature and into the things that where we come from, we come from all things. We are connected to all things. If we get in tune to that, we would have those phenomenal powers and the ability. You know what I'm saying? If we ate well and did the thing, like literally, you couldn't even catch it. If we be in the wind like this, but like you said, it's come a time when people are going to have to witness that, you know what I'm saying, and see those things with their eyes, you know what I'm saying, to understand that, you know, the unseen realm, like we do dwell in that light, in a sense, you know what I'm saying, where if we are doing the work to dwell in that light, we are able to dwell in that light in peace, and we are able to dwell in that light in a knowing and a knowledge that other people are around us are not aware of. And I just want to say, do we have time for questions? I know we had some questions in there. We had people, I mean, some of the questions, let's see. If y'all got questions, I'm going to just scroll up to the, I'm scrolling up through the bottom of the chat. Y'all throw your question in the chat. If we can catch the screen real quick, we'll ask the question and answer.
Yeah, I would definitely any questions y'all have. Any questions y'all have. I look forward.
Thank you to all who just stayed through the live, and we hope that this has enriched you guys. We want to continue to just have these conversations and open it up, you know what I'm saying? Because all of us we're all at a specific point in a journey where to answer whoever asked that, am I religious? And no, by no means. By no means. I come from all the things that you can see and all the things that you can't see.
God, no, that's the fuck right. Talk that shit. That's right.
And the thing about it is, they want to know. They're gonna, come to see what is in you. But the truth is, when you do know yourself, you know that that's what they're coming for. They have to continue to perpetuate that lie throughout, you know what I'm saying? But the buck stops here. I'm going to just let everybody know who's on the live. The buck stops here because the amount of power that we have within us, not only y'all who are listening, but the amount of power that is between me and Kalai, to be honest, like there is no reason why, you know what I'm saying, us two can't take 10,000. Us two can't make it happen. There's no reason why if we continue to sound the alarm.
Yes.
Then listen. People are going to have to hear. And when you say people are going to, be like, oh, it's just so much light, it's blinding you. It's just so much truth that you're like, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much that when we're outside, listen, they ain't going to have no choice but to either crawl back under the rock go in the house. Look, you will see them coming. Like, oh, I see them coming. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we don't want to be zealous without knowledge. We do not want to be out there just doing nilly-willy, stupid, you know what I'm saying, stuff without, consulting wisdom, consulting balance, making sure that we're using discretion, making sure that we know who is amongst us. You know what I'm saying? You never want to be just out there frivolous, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, a reptilian is very cunning and very, very calculating, you know what I'm saying? But we want to make sure that we understand what we're dealing with. Any thoughts on? Let me just ask for the black the community. Anything on reparations? Do they owe us?
Nah, they don't owe us anything. I'm trying to tell y'all, my people. I don't put no.
They need to leave us alone, right?
We need to leave them alone. It's not us. It's not them. We need to leave them alone. We need to leave them alone, my people.
We need to leave them alone.
They not in love. They not fighting to be with us. Y'all don't see it. They not fighting to be with us. They love that you want to be with them. They love that you want to live in misery. That's why where that love come in at. They don't value you. They don't value you at all. Have no value, no love, or nothing for you. Will kill you in a heartbeat, mentally and physically. Will indoctrinate you quickly to destroy your mind. And if that don't work, they would then kill you and gun you down. Just nothing. It's the same old story. So because Kala is tired of that story and saying, hey, listen, you can forget what Kala's saying. Let me tell you what's getting ready to come this way. We loved each other during slavery. We valued each other during slavery. I said it the other day. You could have been reading your religious book. You could have been reading a religious book when that man came in from being whipped, abused, and even raped. You threw that book down to the floor. You gripped that man up and laid him across that bed, and you healed his wounds. You healed his wounds. If you look at Django, I don't like the movie. No, I don't. I don't like any movie that we talk about slavery. But the power of a woman, how much in love he was with his queen, that he wanted to travel across slave masters' plantations, many of them, to get back to his woman. Not because she had some good vajayjay. Nigga, she wanted to do that because the love and the nurturing that she gave him. When we gonna get to the point, oh, I got the baddest vajayjay in the world. That don't keep no man. That doesn't keep a man. Sex does not keep a man. Fun. Being able, a man can communicate with you, not being on eggshells when he's talking to you about things that are wrong with me and you. You see? That is not right. You operate.
What you're talking about takes a temperature. That's just like if anything, you set the room and that, you set the mood and the tone for that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that sometimes in our relationship, we haven't learned to set the tone for that. You know what I'm saying? There's a time and a maturation space in the relationship where we don't get to often get to. So, you know what I'm saying? There has to definitely be, you set the atmosphere for conversation and, for good, just what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? We set the tone for this, you know what I'm saying? Over the course of time of us deciding to do this together. Well, like, you said yes, and then we jumped on the line and we all like, you know what I'm saying? It's about slowing down, first of all. Even though we are light, we don't have to move at the speed of light. Like, we just have to slow down and begin to, don't you say, appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the space. Appreciate what can be offered in the exchange, right? Don't go into the exchange expecting to, dominate the exchange. You know what I'm saying? Don't go into the exchange expecting to just extract from the exchange. Like, you go into the exchange so that each person, when they leave built up, they leave empowered to continue what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Or what we're doing. If we're building together, we leave empowered to do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And it's with extreme gratitude that we have entered into this space today. I want to thank you so much, Salah. We've been on this day for a minute. We do got like 10 questions in here. Let me see if I can get let's see if we can get any in the good questions. Let's see. Okay, somebody said thank you for the guidance of your message. Why are you scared to be the true God that you are? I want to say we touched on that. We were talking about fear. He said, when is the ship going to go down? I'm not sure what you're talking about, but keep your eyes open. How often do we have these conversations? To be honest, this probably is like the mark of my anniversary.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Some perpetuation going on, because at the end of the day, we have the light and the power to do this. So, you know what I'm saying? There's no reason why honestly, the thing about it is, if we're making the most of every opportunity, we should do this very often, because this is the thread that we're trying to get started within our community. So this will be a conversation that we will pick up and notify you guys of another one. And hopefully, next time we're calling it to be bigger and better.
Yes, no question. Yes.
Bigger and better.
Yes.
He says, okay, somebody's asking, where do we start to unravel our DNA, and where do we learn what's in our DNA? So can you provide some resources maybe for people to begin to do the research and knowledge for themselves?
Yeah, I would just tell you to, like, first and foremost, just how can I? Who could I? Because you have to search for yourself. It's not. Matter of fact, I can recommend you. You can go to, like I told you, you can pull up one of Young Pharaoh videos or Dr. Dilbert Blair. This is a good video. Black Woman is God. Dr. Dilbert Blair, Black Woman is God. You can pull up.
Write it down.
You can pull up that video on YouTube. When you pull that video up on YouTube, he's going to talk about all of the organs that are inside of the Black woman, all of the things that she loses, especially when she's during her menstrual cycle. Black woman is not supposed to have a period. Now this is what I did. When he was talking, I wrote those organs down, and I did my own independent research on those organs. Now, when you do that, you can listen to someone and then you write it down. But when you do your own independent research and you're hungry for more knowledge, what's going to happen is something is going to start to unlock in your brain, and you're going to start to add to that. Say, yo, what about this? Nah, wait a minute. I saw, he mentioned this. But again, the thing about our anatomy is constantly evolving. New information is constantly coming out every day. We are constantly evolving. So the information that came out 10 years ago is not even the same practices of today. You remember when they used to do fucking put cavities in your mouth? They put metal. Now they changing it. When they did a root canal, now it's different. The practices have changed the same way with your anatomy. So I would look up Dr. Dilbert Blair, especially if I was a woman. I would listen to that video. I would write down her organs. I don't have a problem. I sponsor it. I'll have a problem with giving a shout out to anybody that deals with the science and anatomy of our body. There's also a YouTube channel on the air that's called Anatomy Autonomy. I goes on there and I literally write down different organs when they talking about the spinal cord, the skin. You understand your mouth. You have something. The softness, the moistness that's in your mouth is called missile. Missile. Right? Do you know that shit right there inside of your mouth, when you drink alcohol or smoke, it goes directly into your bloodstream. This is why it's so moist inside of your fucking mouth. Alcohol shoots anything that you put in your mouth go directly into your fucking bloodstream. And I had no idea about that. Just to know how the inside of your mouth is designed. Now think about this. This entity knows how you work, knows how your body works. This is why they give you alcohol and the drugs and the poison that you give. You think he didn't already know what your mouth absorbs the most, the highest doses or whatever you put inside of your body? Your mouth absorbs that. You think this entity didn't know? If they putting this on YouTube channels, the anatomy. See, that's how I spend my time. Or then I'll go click on nature. I'll look at elephants. I'll look at spiders. I'll look at praying mantises. I'll look at things that we ourselves created and put here on nature. And I have another question, not even a question for you, my sister, but a question for everyone that watches this video. Why did our ancient ancestors mummify animals? We literally mummified crocodiles, lions, cub lions. We mummified them. Why did we do that? And today we're actually eating them and wearing them. Why did our ancient ancestors do that? Why would we mummify animals? Because we were pro-life. We preserved life. We understood our divine connection to those animals. So I say,
the appreciation and value.
Yes.
Appreciation value that you often speak of, and we know that even with the indigenous people, that appreciation and value, saying for living things, they practice. And like you mentioned the movie Avatar, and we know that some of that is what we know. Honest, it takes a while. Like the undoing is gonna take some time to continue to talk about it and to continue to gain the understanding that we need. Because even people, you know, we have a world out there of people who are, in a sense, you know, in bondage mentally. And when they do want to come away from that, the patience that it takes to start to, you know, dissect and tell them, hey, this is why I wanted to do the interview, because as a person who comes from a cultural background that I no longer agreed with and that no longer, you know, felt good to my soul, I literally had to move away from all of it. You know what I'm saying? I left my family and things like that to say, I know that that's not right. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much you talk about blessings from God, like your mouth, like you won't even talk kindly to, you know what I'm saying? You won't even talk kindly to the kids. Like you won't even talk kindly to me. Like if anything, y'all holding the blessings up.
Come on.
Because of how you're unclean with it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I had to get away from a lot of that. And for somebody that, you know, catches your lies or things like that, it's like, well, hold on. Because I want to grab it because I'm getting a little piece of something. Mm-hmm. Let's understate, right? So I do want to, again, just to, you know, extend honor to you and thank you so much for opening up your platform that you have to, you know, answer my questions and even just to have this healthy dialogue. Like it's been a truly, truly amazing. I mean, we could go at it all day and all night.
You know that.
And at the end of the day, I know, right? At the end of the day, when there is nothing else of pseudo, you know, to talk about, we will be talking about these things forever and ever. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we'll be in our rightful state of relating to one another, and that conversation will continue. But
before you go forward, right? Before you go with the next question, let me, because I seen people in the chat and they was asking a question. Let me show y'all something. See, this is what Kala do. This is what Kala do. You see that right there? You see that right there? Institute of Human Autonomy. This is what I fucking look at right here. This right here. And when they speak, what I do is I have a pen and pad. Mind you, do you see a black? Did that look black to you? That's actually, let me explain something to y'all about genetics, right? The red hair is the original. The red hair and the blonde hair has zero soul. Completely zero soul. They will, I mean, zero soul, my people. You can search this up. Go search up Baz people. That's located between France and Spain. But this is what I look at. I will come here. I have an anatomy book as well. I will come here and I will listen to the red hair is the original. Hold up. Let me try. I would listen to these videos and I will write down the organ that they are talking about and they are describing. Now, this video is about the drinkage of alcohol and what it does to the human body. To the human body. You see? Now, that's considered boring to 90% of women out here today. You see? Because, see, I need time to think. I need time to write this shit down. I need time to know about me. This nigga took 6,000 years learning about me, teaching a race to dissect me. I need to know about me and know my weaknesses and my strength. So for the average woman that feels as though that she needs me to be all day in time with her, I can't use my brain. If you're having sex all day, when a man releases, he automatically gets sleepy. He needs tired. He needs to rejuvenate himself. He needs to get back and get himself together. This is why that's why they got you having sex all fucking day, man. This is why they got you having sex all day, sleepy, all fucking day long. All day long. Instead of learning about who you are. It's called muscle. That's what I couldn't pronounce the name. It's called muscle. That's the soft moisture that's in your mouth. But that's what I look at. I take my time out to learn. The
video was the Institute of the Human Body, right?
Yes.
The Institute of the Human Body.
Mm-hmm.
Now y'all got some questions coming in, but I see the question thing keep coming up, but I can't clear them for new questions. So y'all have to keep putting them inside the chat because the only ones that are coming in are the ones that I already kind of went through. So
right.
We can take a couple of more questions. Maybe it's 6:05. Maybe we'll do another like 5 minutes and then we'll wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I look forward to us doing this again, like doing it on even on YouTube. You know what I mean? That way we can actually share the screen, or even go on Zoom. We can share our screen and bring different viewpoints. But I look forward to this. Because I believe that this is a good dialogue. I think this is something that a lot of people needs to hear. Because Kalai, I am not for one to continue to speak about the same things that we have been talking about for the longest. We know slavery exists. We know people are killing us. We know all of this, right? What we don't know is our genetic makeup. We don't know our connection to the sun. We don't know that. You understand? And because we don't know that, we are easily misled into things that you can't be proven through history or science. That's the only thing that I'm saying. We can't introduce none of these people that we speak about, that we give our hearts and our souls to, through science or through history. So that's my thing.
You're absolutely right. Now, I do want to add this because I just want to say, what we're doing, Kalai, is a deep work because you have a lot of people underneath the system that we have been brought up under who believe themselves to be smart and to be wise. And you're going to be talking to a lot of, ignorant people who literally are loud and wrong. And I just want to say, this will be a space where people have to open up their hearts and their eyes and open up your ears to really hear deeply beyond the discrediting. This platform is not where we can agree to disagree, but if you can bring nothing of value beyond what your negativity or your negative point is, this is definitely not the space for you.
Thank you.
And I just want to make that clear because you can have degrees and you can have all of that, but if you do not have the wherewithal to listen to other perspectives and to glean from them, you are literally, I don't even know what to call it because I ain't gonna be negative on you. I'm gonna just let you know. I don't know what to call you because you're not like me. Mm-hmm. Just stay out of the space. The people in the chat, those who are open-minded, those who are of a high vibration, if y'all are in the chat, y'all make sure y'all hold it down for us, and just, keep that energy high because at the end of the day, we're only dying because of our lack of knowledge and because we reject the knowledge. Yep. You have to be able to accept knowledge just for what it is. As a matter of fact, we did have a word today. Our word for the day was epistemophilia.
Epistemophilia.
Epistemophilia. That means extreme love for knowledge. That was our word of the day. Epistemophilia. And we'll try to give a word, just a word to keep our vocabulary. We have always needs to expand. Just the fact that we are light and we are sun and we are, galactic people, we have every need to expand beyond our current condition. So if you come in this space closed-minded or you come in this space just, looking to beef, keep it at the door, bro. Yeah. Take your shoes off. This is not the ground for that.
Right. Beef with me intellectually. That's the kind of beef I want. Beef with me intellectually. Sharpen my mind. Yeah, don't come at me with just, if I'm coming at, the problem is that this is one thing that I do notice, and this is something that I it is hitting home, is that when you attack this system with common sense and logic, when you attack this system with common sense and logic, the people that holds rather a smidge of this system, it hurts their feelings and they become anger instead of becoming intelligent galactic beings. They start to lose respect, and you're not losing respect for me. You're actually losing respect for yourself. You're actually discrediting yourself because I trust and believe in you more than you trust and believe in you. I say you can do anything. I can say you can do everything that the individual that you are giving your power to. I say that you can do it all, but you do it even better when it's me and you. When it's us. We do it even better when it's us. See, that's how this world was built so easily. That's how this world was built so let's say strategically. You know what I'm saying? Because every individual that comes from the stars, no matter what tongue no matter what tongue you speak with, believe in a calendar and a clock. No matter what tongue you speak with, believe in a calendar and a clock. And time is T-I-M-E. Time-me. There is no such thing as time. There is space. And the space is closing. And this is where you get the fist from of united. Right here. See? No such thing as time. So the person that gave you Satan wanted to play God. The person that gave you God gave you the calendar and the clock. So now we are all tied into time, no matter what language that we speak. That's why I say this lizard is off the hook. This lizard is off the hook.
Sometimes you got to give, the credit, but you also got to chop it down head off. I give you credit, but
I'm definitely coming for his head.
Okay, so let me just go ahead and just chop your head off real quick so you can slither no more. But to be honest, I cannot stress enough how the wanting my people to be free and wanting us to literally come away from that, like the senselessness of it. Like I literally have had to be, when you talk about self-discipline, I've had to be without, in order for that actual truth to be, ignited with it, because I had to figure out, like, is that what I really want? Is that what I really want? And at the end of the day, like, I have things in my own personal life. I would never sit before anybody and say that I'm completely put together. But because we are seeking, because we have that desire, that's the thing that we continue to feed, and that is the thing that will ultimately manifest for us. So I stand with everybody that's on this line today. How does your girl Beriah E? Y'all check in with me. I got some DMs, some stuff people are asking. Somebody's asking about the Star Family. What's up with the Star Family, the third coming? What you got going on with that? Yes, I'm plugging from the Matrix completely. And, at the end of the day, y'all, the choice, when we talk about ignorance being a choice, you're really going to have to come up against some of y'all family, like some of y'all people that, really believe in this, going to college and getting your job and doing people that actually believe in the thing that's perpetuating the system that's out there. Y'all gonna really have to make a decision as to whether those things are real in you. And at the end of the day, when you make that decision, I just think I'm gonna be so thankful for the day when I actually see us come out of the shadow and we be like, Dad, you was having the same thoughts. You was thinking the same thing. Oh, you was ready to get up out of there. And you know that the space is safe for us to actually come. I cannot wait for that, because it's going to be so beautiful.
Yes.
When we all get together and the fear is not involved. So y'all be making y'all decision now, because as we continue to keep this conversation going, these conversations are giving you tools. They're giving you the tools to step away from it without being afraid of the unknown.
Come on.
You're gonna know that your fellow brother have your back. You're gonna know that your fellow sister got your back. You're gonna know where you can actually go and find a refuge. You're gonna know where you don't have to go to and what you don't have to resort to have your needs met. You're gonna know where that safe place is, and y'all be germinating about it, because I know that we sparked a flame today, and I just dare it to catch on fire.
I know that's right. Do you know during slavery, when black people would run from other plantations and stuff, and that so happened, let's just say they were to come and we would come to another black person's house or something like that, or this, that, and the third, we didn't say, yo, get the fuck out of here. Yo, I don't know you. We didn't say you're not my family. We brought them in and hid the motherfuckers, bro. Now we will lock the door on your ass and tell a motherfucking white man to kill you. And tell them to kill you. What type of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? Before we didn't, brother, you were me. You look like me. You are a reflection of me. Come on in here. A sister will open up a door, feed you, give you some clothing, let you take a bath. And brother, now, shoo, man, come on, man. But see, listen, I want y'all to know something. I want people to understand slavery is not coming back to us. But slavery was dark, and slavery made us stick together. Dark times are coming back to us because it has to get dark. See, they have to show you, see, it was a light in the sky that shined light on darkness. So we thought it was light outside. We didn't know that we literally walking and living in darkness. Now, the light has to be shut out so you can see the darkness for which we were breathing life into. And guess what's going to happen?
You had enough food.
Guess what's going to happen?
Listen, you better speak life to that thing, because we were talking about that earlier, about the void and appreciation for the thing when it's taken away from you. We have to see that honestly board out so that they actually can see us banding together too. You know,
bingo.
The thing that you have been robbing, the thing that you have been really, really just dreading to happen is now upon you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been dreading for us to get together and to be a fortified people and to be solid in our convictions and solid in our power. And now that you see that thing, you listen, if fight or flight better kick in.
That's right.
And when I told you earlier today, I said, you know, that's just like in an abusive relationship, you never really realize that the person, your partner, is angry with you until you try to leave. Until you actually try to get away is when you see the monster. And it's in all of us. I ain't even feeling like in the old us, it's in us. You know what I'm saying? If we were under that, you know, possessive, you know what I'm saying, it's got to be ours. You're gonna see that come out. You know, so at the end of the day, I'm not ready for the doom and gloom. Keep that on the side, Kalai.
I want people also to understand this. I want my brothers and sisters also to understand this right here, and I'm gonna end it with that, right, with this right here, right?
Okay.
You know, well, no, we can end it whenever you're ready. I just wanted to say this, you know, that psychological abuse is hard to see when you are in love. That's all I'm gonna say to you. Psychological abuse is hard to see when you are in love. See, when you in love and physical abuse take place, you can get the fuck out of that quick. Nigga, you beat my ass. Nigga, you fuck that. But psychological abuse, to continue to make you feel like you are nothing without me, that you would not survive without me, and that you need me in every aspect of your life. That's psychological abuse. That is far worse than physical abuse. And let me tell you, that psychological abuse even take place inside of our own homes with our children and loved ones. Because if you don't do what I want you to do, you can get the fuck out. What I want you to do. Not respect my home, but if you don't do what I want you to do, you can get the fuck out. See, that's psychological abuse. And now you walking on eggshells in someone else's house and afraid to express yourself. See?
Yeah.
So I know what psychological abuse is. That physical bullshit, cut it the fuck out. This is psychological abuse. A motherfucker is in your head because guess what? And people can adhere to this, that are grown, that have been in a fucked up relationship, that love someone through their darkness. And guess what happened? When you came up out of that sleep and slumber, when you started exercising, you started eating healthy, you started changing. You said, wait a fucking minute. Why the fuck was I in this shit in the first place? Totally different. Why was I in this in the first place? What the hell? What kind of spell you had on me? You weren't even worth it. What the fuck? Or did I put the spell on myself? Did you put it on me? Or did I put the spell on myself? I value you, my people.
So that raises a question for me. When we're talking about abusive relationship or thing like that. When you say that it's on the sisters sisters to bind together, right? Now I know, I do know some sisters today that'll be like, you know what I'm saying, if that man or that, their N-word ain't treating you right, like, you know what I'm saying, like sisters being together in a way that can be toxic. Let's just really talk about, like, when you were talking about as far as holding the male accountable and how men are going to be brought to a greater state of responsibility and accountability through the women binding together. What does that start to look like? Because if the man is abusive or if the man is in his infantile state, what should the women be encouraging the women to do? I mean, because we encourage women to get out and get away, but we use our, use language and we be like, F that, what would you say to your point of strengthening the male back to his original position? How do women do that?
Baby, don't waste time. We ain't wasting time. We're not dealing with time no more. This is straight up. Listen here, black man. You grown now. This is what I need from you, and this is what you gonna get from me. We have nothing to do with this world. Are you ready for that? If you ain't ready for it, goodbye. We ain't got time. We don't got time to waste. We don't have no time to waste at all. Point blank and simple. Leave them where they is. And I'm not advocating any woman to leave a man that you have children with. I am not advocating for that. But I will tell you this, is don't hold yourself back because he can't grow. Don't hold yourself back because he can't grow. Don't allow yourself to be subjugated to something, to be subjugated to a boy and not a man. Don't listen to this video and say, damn, I need to build a relationship with my sister and maybe polygamy would be right. But yet you give it to a boy. And then you say, oh, fuck, I fucked up. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You have the power. You can control this toy right here. See, you created this suit. See, just like Steve Jobs that create the iPhone. If you want the off button to be at the top instead at the motherfucking bottom, train me when I'm in a baby, when I'm in the womb. Train me when I'm in the womb. Train me when I'm in the womb. And guess what? The off button will no longer be at the bottom. It'll be at the top now. Because now I'm being groomed inside of the womb. But once this bastard, and I don't mean no harm, I love my brothers. I do. But once this bastard get to a certain age and he has ingested a masculinity world, on top of that, women telling him his entire life that he gonna have all of the women. I can't accept his actions when it comes to how he treat women and how he treat his children. I don't justify no man that sleeps, tells a woman that he want to be with her and wants to cherish her, and she does what she needs to do as a nurturing, supporting, uplifting woman, and then he turns his back on her. No, I don't support that shit at all. Not one bit of that. No, I don't. But I will tell you one thing, because see, a lot of things come out after sex. If me and you have sex with each other, and now you decide to show me a side of you that I can't communicate with you, that you're unreachable, that you was just burning sage and screaming that the black people, that you love your black people just because you riding along with the fat, and then a brother say, you know what, I can't deal with this. Don't feel bad about that. Don't feel, and the same thing should go vice versa. That's why I say women control sex. Women should take that time out. If he really wants to be with you, and if he really wants to be with you, there shouldn't be no movie at night every night. There shouldn't be none of that. It should be something that where as though that we are communicating and bonding with one another. We sitting down watching a TV play. How is that bonding with one another? We're actually watching people play a role that's not even us. How is that bonding with one another? Huh? I don't care if we get a video game. Let's play the video game together. We're doing something together. Stuff that involves us bonding outside of us. It's nothing for a phallus and a vagina to get along with one another. But we got to get past that. Because we got to get past that. And that's where I'm at with that. Can we get past that right there? Are women willing today? Are women willing to look? If we study our ancient ancestors, they went by a matrilineal system. when they went by a matrilineal system, as above, so below. You got one sun and you got 9 planets. So all the planets are feminine energy. And somebody said, well, Mars is male. No, it's not. Bro, listen. See, Mars is a feminine, masculine energy. You see this queen right here on this station right now? Did you hear her speak? Masculine energy that's behind her. She even admitted it. I had that masculine fire energy inside of me. This is how I was created. If she just had feminine energy, how could she produce and create masculine energy? She possessed both at a high level. So once we get to that recognition, right, that realization that who we are as individuals and who we are as collectively as a group and what we are doing collectively as a group ignorantly, you understand, then we will always perpetuate and we'll continue to go through this. But I want to say this right here, my people, to be honest with you, I want the people that continue to move with this world, go all out. I say it all the time. Go all out. See, if this was 20 years ago, I wouldn't say that to you. But looking at what's happening in the sky and what's taking place on the ground, go all out. Enjoy yourself. Because it's a rude awakening that's on its way here. A rude awakening.
Well, no, for a fact that it's starting with us, and I just want to say thank you again. I don't know about you, but I feel real light. I feel real feathery, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about nobody else, but just the energy itself, like if there were chains, if people came in with chains, if people came in with, you know, just stuff that was cloudy or whatever, just having this conversation, honestly, it loosened up a lot of things. And I feel like, you know, we get ready to fly in a minute, but thank you all so much. We are going to end the live. It has been about 3 hours almost. And, you know, just for the sake of the sun going down and people needed to get back to tending to, you know, their families and things will be respectful. So just thank everybody who tuned in. Check out the next one. We'll put up a trailer when we have a next one. We're going to book it. And peace to you guys. Y'all be easy out there.
Thank you again, Queen, for having me on. I really appreciate that. I value you. I appreciate you. And more importantly, I see you. Believe that.
I value you and I see you.
Have a great day, Queen.
You too.
Man, that John was fly. Now for somebody, yo, could I use profanity? I know people was on and off of this John, but did Kalai use profanity? Come on, man. Just when you think you know me, you don't know me, man. My passion comes out whenever, no matter what it is. But my passion comes out no matter where I'm at. But my intellectual God body, God mind is always on fucking point. Always on fucking point. Yes, I use profanity when I express myself. But when I'm on a platform of someone else's and someone is actually doing some sort of an interview and we want to reach other people, no, I don't have to use profanity. But when I'm on my platform by myself, I'm going to express. And guess what? The one thing that I admire about this sister is that she did not put me in a cage. This sister did not put me in a cage. This sister, she said, listen, Kala, she said, Kala, I want you. Oh no, she said, Kala, I want you to express yourself. I want you to be you. I want you to express yourself. I want you to be you. And she said, don't hold nothing back. And I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to be in a box. I want to talk. I want to speak how I feel. I want to speak how I feel, what I'm gathering from the universe. And I feel like my race is literally blaming others for our own self-fucking destruction. We're literally blaming others for our own self-destruction. And I want us to start looking at us just like we will look at money and God. How about that? I want us to start looking at us like that. Motherfucker drop $100 on the ground, everybody looking down for it. Black man standing right there, black woman standing right there, getting shot by the police, everybody pulling their fucking cameras out and recording. Come on, man. I value you, my people. I appreciate y'all. Love, light, and supreme cosmic energy to all the queen goddesses, to all the beautiful, lovely star seeds, to all my fellow king gods who see the multiverse and the feminine in me. I see the multiverse and the feminine in you. I see you, I honor you, I appreciate you, and I truly value you. With that being said, we are all unique, beautiful, and rainbows, my people. I just got a call. That's why I lost my train of thought. You didn't come to this world to join this world. You came to this world to evolve this planet, your brothers and sisters, and moved past this world. I value you, my people. Y'all all have a great rest of your night.